reasons have added to the price jumps.
Industry analyst Trilby Lundberg, AAA, saying the average for a gallon of regular is $2.73. A payday for less than a minute of work.
I believe I can fly.
R. Kelly performing for 28 seconds at a club in Illinois before hanging out with fans who paid $50 to $100 a pop to see him. The R&B singer in a video on Instagram saying he needs to perform to make money while he fights sexual abuse charges. Another big win at the box office for DC Comics.
Say my name so my powers will become yours. Shazam.
Wait, for real?
Say, okay.
Shazam grossing an estimated $53.5 million in its debut weekend. Pet Sematary finishing second with $25 million, followed by Dumbo with $18.2 million. I'm Steve Rappaport, and this is Fox News.
Here at APL, our core values give the company its heart and soul. Whether it's connecting your business with our global network through our newly enhanced service or investing our efforts into giving back to the community, APL is committed to serving you. We humbly honor the opportunity to find innovative solutions for you and your business. To learn more about our enhanced service, call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com/Guam for more details.
The stations of Choice Broadcasting are celebrating April 2019 as National Earth Month with the return of our Upcycle Mascot Showdown. Join us on Saturday, April 20 at the Agana Shopping Center from 3 to 5 p.m. and vote for the best mascot display. Second place wins $250 and first place wins $500. The 2019 Upcycle Mascot Showdown is brought to you by the Agana Shopping Center, Lolita Kamet from Remax Diamond Realty, Underwater World, Sylvan Learning Center, Family Finance, Buddy's Home Furnishings, and Pitbull Empire.
Are you waiting too long for a home loan decision? Are you looking for a bank that understands your needs and can close your loan quickly at today's super low rates? Then come no further than Bank Pacific. Our home loan specialists are friends and neighbors from your community, and our decisions are made right here in Hagåtña. Bank Pacific, where we're open to closing your loan in a hurry.
Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
Equal housing lender, credit conditions apply. Viva Bank Pacific.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. News time here at The Point is 7 minutes past 6 a.m. this Monday morning. I'm Kevin Kerrigan. Here's a look now at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. The casino-style card games that are now authorized for the Liberation Carnival will be played on Carnival grounds after all. Following passage of Senator James Moylan's Bill 29 on March 30th, Mayor's Council of Guam Executive Director Angel Sablan said there will not be a casino building on the Carnival grounds, explaining that the mayors want to make sure it's a family-friendly environment at the Liberation Carnival. Whoever wins the Carnival gaming bid, he said, will be asked to rent space somewhere off Carnival grounds. Governor Lou Leon Guerrero signed Senator Moylan's bill into law last Thursday. The draft rules and regs were submitted to the legislature on Friday. They propose allowing the casino-style card games like poker and blackjack to be played exclusively inside a card house on casino grounds, while the more traditional games of chance, like the color game and Beto Beto, would be played throughout the Carnival grounds. Sablan explained that he got a call last week from Senator Moylan, who said that the intent of his bill was to have all of the games held at the Carnival site. Moylan acknowledged that he discussed the issue with Sablan and told him that all the games must be held on the Carnival grounds. We came to an understanding, said Senator Moylan. Guam Memorial Hospital Authority's skilled nursing unit located in Barragata Heights will retain its Medicare certification. GMH Administrator Lillian Perez Posadas confirmed that CMS has confirmed that the nursing unit won't lose its Medicare certification. She said the hospital is still waiting on a decision, however, from the federal agency about its Medicare certification for the hospital. GMH submitted a corrective action plan to address two issues cited by CMS in a January survey of the hospital. Those issues are quality assessment and performance improvement and anesthesia services. The corrective action plan was sent to CMS. If they accept it, CMS will send another survey team to confirm the plan has been implemented. GMH risks losing more than $20 million annually in Medicare reimbursements if it fails to meet CMS standards. We'll have more news after this.
Security Title is honored to join in sponsoring Ray Gibson on The Point. Half a day. I'm Mark Beneventi of Santa Rita, and this is where I start my day, listening to the voice of our community and sharing thoughts and issues that affect us all. It all boils down to our people, our land. Protei Igumamo. Protect your home. When purchasing or refinancing your home, remember to call the professionals at Security Title, just like you call Ray Gibson in the morning.
Get a half gallon of Minute Maid orange juice for only $1.99 when you fuel up on $35 or more of premium high-performance fuel. Conditions apply. See stores for details. Circle K. Take it easy. Get a half gallon of Dairy Gold milk for only $1.99 when you fuel up on $35 or more of premium high-performance fuel. Conditions apply. See stores for details. Circle K. Take it easy. Get a $7 meal for only $1.99 when you fuel up on $35 or more of premium high-performance fuel. Conditions apply. See stores for details. Circle K. Take it easy.
10 minutes past 6 a.m. here at The Point. A financing plan to pay for a new trash cell at Luzon and cover the post-closure costs at the old Ordot dump proposes borrowing up to $30 million by either issuing a bond or getting a construction loan from a bank. The plan was submitted Friday by the Guam Assistant Attorney General Ken Orcutt to Chief Judge Francis Tadenko Gatewood. Tadenko Gatewood ordered submission of the plan for her review and approval before she decides whether to end the 11-year federal receivership over the island's solid waste collection and disposal services. If the judge approves the plan, she said she'll terminate the receivership at the end of this month. The plan does not make any specific comment on whether the current $30 monthly trash collection fee will have to be raised to cover the cost of the borrowing. However, GSWA Board Chairman Andy Gale last week said there is a possibility that the tipping fee may have to be increased to cover the borrowing costs. A chlorinating product used to kill bacteria and contain algae growth in swimming pools was used to sanitize a 500,000-gallon drinking water tank on Andersen Air Force Base. The tank provides drinking water to base facilities on Northwest Field. The 36-wing Public Affairs Office confirmed that chlorine tablets sold under the Pool Time label were used. The label states that the product is toxic. A public notice was sent on January 15th to service members who may have been exposed to the drinking water that explained what had happened. The Guam Environmental Protection Agency issued a notice of violation to Andersen for using the pesticide to clean a drinking water tank. However, the Public Affairs Office release states that at no time was the water deemed unsafe to drink. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Ray and Mike now take a look at weather.
It says mostly sunny today, Kevin, with a slight chance of light showers. Winds out of the east about 10 miles an hour. Highs 89 degrees. And overnight lows should be 76 degrees. Already light outside. Sunrise not for another. Well, actually, right now we had the gray line about 5 minutes away from the top of the hour, and that was the sure sign that we were in it. Very, very soon. Sunset tonight at 6:33. There is weather radar today, and here's the guy that knows how to interpret what he sees.
Yeah, looks like what we're seeing here actually is that could be birds. There is no rain out there right now at all, and sometimes the birds will do that. So there could be some artifacts in there that are making the radar look like something's on it, but there's just nothing out there, and that's the way it's going to stay for most of the week. The downside is the winds are going to die down too, so it's going to be hot. Hot as in. It's our dry season really getting kicked off this week, I think, and we can expect that to go on right on through May. Taking satellite view of satellite here very quickly, we can see kind of a clockwise rotation in the cloud structure overall, and that means high pressure is built in over the top of us here. All of the clouds you see off to the east, they're going to hit that high pressure ridge and just kind of go poof. So, I mean, we've got just nothing.
So days like this is what we can anticipate.
Yep, that's what we're looking forward to.
I got you. 6:13. That's news and weather together. Brought to you by Bank Pacific, where others put branches. They place roots.
Docomo Pacific's all-new business bundles provide tailored solutions to help your business become a better business. Choose from our Business Basic, Essential, or Value bundles and get unlimited talk and text, worry-free data at home and abroad, plus access to the fastest online speeds in the Marianas. Add on mobile or broadband lines and save up to 20% for each line. Email businesssales@docomopacific.com to find out which bundle provides the best solution for your business. Terms and conditions apply.
Portions of the Ray Gibson Show brought to you by my pals over at American President Lines. APL is shipping the future Micronesia renewable energy. There's never been a better time to go solar. Guam Regional Medical City, the first choice for all of your specialty care needs. And, of course, the guys over at Cars Plus got a chance to spend some time with the ladies over at Cars Plus. Jen and the crew that were all over the Guam Memorial Hospital Volunteers Association.
Oh, when are they bringing over my test driver?
The what? No, they're driven by you. Yeah. Work that out with them. And of course, King's Restaurant. King's absolutely groovy with their absolutely groovy Lenten menu for just a little bit longer. So if you've got a thing for seafood, they've got one too at King's.
The Ray Gibson Show. Morning talk that matters. Call now. 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
My life is reading. There's too much reading. I cannot take it anymore. I thought I built in enough time to get in and get started on basically what's going to be a week's worth of morning show programming here this morning. Just based on the handful of things that I got in over the weekend, the last few days. I'll share some of those thoughts with you. But first, welcome to the program. Excuse the mess. It is the Ray Gibson Show on 93.3 The Point. My name is Ray Gibson, and I've got Michael Knight over here who is going to push the buttons and answer the phone when you call it 888-8255. That is 888-TALK. And thanks very much for the nod on the grill marks yesterday.
Yeah, no, it was a definite thing yesterday. And, you know, the great thing is yesterday we did actually have a little bit of lingering surge energy pushed through, which kept the winds up, and it was actually a delightful day yesterday.
Not bad yesterday, and not as bad Saturday as I thought it was going to be. A little bit wet in the morning, got and I'm sure for some of the people that were waiting in line over at Jollibee, I think that shower that came through about 7:30 or so was perfectly timed to cool them down.
That's right, and then, of course, that cleared out by noon, and it was on after that.
Turned into a fantastic weekend. Hope everybody had a great opportunity to get out there and do a lot of stuff. I tell you what, you know, looking at Facebook and all of the pictures that I've seen for all of the different activities that seemingly everybody participated in some kind of thing over the weekend. Maybe it was the River Fest yesterday down in Telefofo. That was very, very well attended, as you could tell if you were going by the area at any time this morning. Traffic on both sides of the street, practically all the way up the hill, and that's kind of tricky because that road kind of narrow to begin with, and there's not much of a shoulder on either side, but they found enough shoulder and parking on the inside and outside to be able to accommodate what looked like several hundred people that went down there yesterday for all of that. Of course, mentioned the Jollibee thing, more on that in a couple of minutes. And Kevin Kerrigan from the Guam Daily Post, who's got an entire weekend's full of incredible stories, including the one that we touched on a little bit on Friday, which is the gambling thing. And where everything is going to go, and everything will go on the carnival grounds proper. Now, how are we defining the carnival grounds? Because it sounds
Paseo.
The Paseo. So the entire Paseo area then will be the quote carnival grounds.
That's my understanding. But it's up to the mayor.
It keeps changing.
And the legislature.
And then the legislature. And, you know, Jimmy Moylan, just every time he hears something, calls it what Angel Sublime meant to say, I think is what Jimmy's point was last week. He says, no, we're not going to be pushing this thing. We're not going to be putting the card house, you know, in Anigua. Yeah, right. It's going to be nearer. It's going to be on the grounds.
Well, Angel said they'll try to locate it on the other side of the baseball stadium or maybe up by the Statue of Liberty, away from everybody else. But it'll still be on the carnival grounds.
Okay. Look, the path of least action. Here. Path of least action. Just get an old tent from someplace. Maybe one of those big wedding tents, right? And just build the thing up there with a big sign that says card house. Nobody under the age of 21 can come inside because there's going to be cigarettes and hoochie coochie girls and gambling going on inside. And you can have that. You can have that right next
just
to
like
the
it
Ferris
was a couple
wheel.
of years ago.
Just like it was back in the olden days. Every day, we just take a look at some of these problems and see if there's any way that we can just make them worse. I don't know. Trying to figure out what's going to happen next. There all these people that are going, well, we've legalized marijuana. We've got casino gambling, devil casino gambling taking place over at the carnival. What's next? What's next? And then my friend Lynn sent me something that looked like a picture of naked people on a nude beach. I mean, if you're looking at it from here to where the monitor is, it looked just like naked people on a nude beach. Which might actually be something that might be worth investigating in certain places. Just refer to areas of Guam's shorelines as clothing optional. That always sounds like a great deal until you actually go to clothing.
That's
optional
right. Yeah.
beaches.
Then you realize the people that go to clothing optional should probably wear lots of clothes.
Put something on. Get a burqa. Put a burqa on, would you? 6:19 in the morning. We got to say good morning to the real cast of heroes here.
Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You want to be where you can see the troubles are all the same. You want to be where everybody knows your name.
Hey, everybody here. We're starting with Ismail, and he starts with a cut and paste of a post that he put up a few minutes ago. 3 hours of sleep. Oh, Monday. Why must you hound me? Aren't you tired of being Sunday's second best? Convinced that you are first because of the start of the work week. But wasn't Saturday the Sabbath when the Lord took his rest? Oh, please, Monday, don't hound me and just go away. Come back some other time, just not today. It's a busy enough weekend. I think there might be some people out there that are actually looking forward to going back to work. Pat Norma Jean Flores is there. James Howard is on. I see Nick Pulaski with the traditional hoik. Ismail says Shazam was a great movie, and according to some of the folks that were looking at some of the numbers in the positive reviews, say Shazam have industry experts thinking the superhero movie will make around $55 million this weekend. Pet Sematary should come in second with around $30 million in ticket sales. Yeah, I was listening. We do a thing on Sundays, fat guys at the movies, and the guy was talking about, I guess Pet Sematary is one of those stories that Stephen King didn't feel confident about and threw the draft away. And somebody in the house pulled it out, was reading it, said, this is actually pretty good. He says, yeah, but it's really dark. I mean, it's Stephen King saying, hey, this is really dark. But I guess cooler heads prevailed, and they decided that they were going to stay with it. And now Pet Sematary has been made into a movie for the second time. And I don't know. I tell you, I remember the first one. And I thought the first one was pretty scary. Right, the little creepy kid with the knife going around and slashing people, including the guy from the Munsters. And I thought, dude, this is not for me. This is not one of those things that I wanted to watch before I lay down and go to sleep. And the new one looks even scarier than that. Who else is playing around? Carlos Barreto is there. I see Gwen. Troy Torres, off the line. What are you doing there? Timmy Lohan, Ken LG. I got Lisa Geisinger, Roy Gamboa. And, Commissioner, you're in early. Rico Blancafloor's there. John Ray Titano, Charlene Marchessault. Rico saying, good morning, Ray, Kevin, Mike, and Guam. Anybody get high this past weekend? When you got a hammer in your hand, everything looks like a nail, doesn't it? And the hammer in my hand today is basically all weekend long. I mean, it's just really one of these things that's rolling around in my head. Because it's one of the easier conversations that you can get into with somebody. I mean, it's not even like you're trying to make small talk. It's one of the big topics out there is marijuana, and sometimes you don't know, but until you actually start talking to somebody about it, where they are on the issue.
Yeah.
And so, I had a couple of those conversations. Oh, what's that guy saying? James says, how come no live stream lately? I don't know what you're talking about, but I'll check. I'll check. Where was that going with the bid? At any rate, so now everything that I look at, I'm trying to mesh into this new reality that we're in. So there's a Facebook post by my friend Shelley Crisostomo talking about the Guahan sustainable culture encouraging hydroponic growing. Right, so I go to the the website, the little contact page, and I see this logo. There's a logo there. It's a light bulb with a leaf in it. And in looking at that leaf a little bit carefully, I think it's a breadfruit leaf. But at first glance, I'm looking at it and I'm going, that's marijuana leaf, and it's Guahan sustainable culture, and that's why they had this thing on hydroponics to teach people how to grow marijuana hydroponically.
That's right. Yeah.
No, I don't think that's what it was all about at all. I might want to give her a call, because there were a lot of people. 55 attendees filled the classrooms at the College of Natural and Applied Sciences at the University of Guam to learn the process of hydroponic farming. See, this is what happens when it is one of the things. And today could have been any other kind of Monday. And I didn't want to purposely call today Marijuana Monday. So I titled the program today, Can't Think of Anything But Marijuana Monday. There could have been any other Monday themes that went in my head. But the only one that's playing around now is what's happening with the marijuana. And it's been an interesting weekend for sure. I like that. Rico Blancaflor asking if anybody got high this weekend, and there's James Howard saying, "Dude, I'm stoned right now." Tony and Ed Pinko at Mingo Ree is there, and Levon Guerrero Meno and a whole bunch of other people are climbing into the feed this morning. How about Mark Scott? Michael and Kevin sound similar and are never on screen at the same time. Which is the human? Which is the superhero?
Yeah, Kevin's got to be the superhero because.
Can I do that? I think I can do that. I can get all four of us on, all four of us. I can get multitudes of us on the screen at the same time. I gotta look for the thing. It's entitled 4 Dang Cams. There it is. So there's 3 cams in the studio, and one that will go off in Mike's direction.
Yeah,
so
people don't understand that there's a reason we don't show me very often, and it's because I'm ugly.
Yeah, it's ugly as in the eye of the beholder. So there's the 4 camera shots, and if there was somebody sitting where Blake sits, there would be 4 people on the screen. But you can plainly see Kevin. You can plainly see Mike. So clearly they are different individuals. Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
We are clearly different. Well, I had to shock on my friends, they're
all right on.
They
right
saw
on.
me. So.
Kat Phillips Huggin, Henry Gonzalez is there. Troy Torres says, "Good morning. Here to slay another day." Well, who are you going to be slaying here? What windmills are you going to be tilting against? What's going to be entertaining? Roy Burgess, Adonis Quito Mendiola, Levon Guerrero, as I said, is there. Want to make sure I didn't miss anybody's names here this morning. Bob Lazama, Mo Cotton, Doris Mendiola is there. Alicia Kanata, who is giggling about something I said, the Hoochie Coochie Girls. Mm-hmm. You're not familiar with the phrase? The Hoochie Coochie Girls? I think that goes back to the 1920s.
At least.
Yeah, yeah. Ken LG says, "I saw that Senator Gamblin' Jim forced the mayor's council to put the House of the Vanishing Paycheck back to the Paseo to enhance the family-friendly atmosphere of the carnival." Well, the idea was to have everything all in the same place. Pam Duvall is there. V. Sablon LG. I got Lillian Cruz, Francie Salas, Vicky Schwagi, Yvette Ibanez. Nice to see you there, Yvette. Lorraine Perez and others. Jimmy looking at some UFOs there. Anita Muffness with the Valentine's eyes. Got Bill Salisbury. And I think that kind of rounds out the list. Mark Scott says, "Yes, both superheroes got it." Thanks. Appreciate it. 6:27 in the morning. And so, yeah, there's all of that thought that goes into my head. Now, is there anyone that heard the news Friday and Saturday and thought, my God, we've only been here in the post-legal marijuana day for just a tiny bit, and already somebody has come out and put together some paperwork, dropped it off at the District Court of Guam. It is now civil case number 19-00011. Claiming a federal law violation by the government of Guam and Lourdes Leon Guerrero by legalizing medical and recreational marijuana. And he spelled it with an H. That's why I pronounced it that way, marijuana. The Cannabis Act. Sorry. It's... You know what? I gotta give you the same piece of advice here that Dr. Ron McNinch has given you there. Said is have a lawyer go through some of this with you. He's apparently representing himself. So it's the Cannabis Act, but he's got the apostrophe in between the I and the S. So it looks like Cannabis Act.
Oh, wow.
Right?
I think the thing will get thrown out on a technicality just because marijuana is not spelled with an H.
I don't know. I've got to get through some of the rest of all of this. To see if there's anything that is going to be interesting. It apparently, as I understand it, makes the case that because, it's a federal law and marijuana Schedule 1 and you're not supposed to do this, Guam cannot on its own come out and determine that marijuana is now legal for sale here. We cannot buck the federal trend, as it were.
I don't think lawsuits have been filed in any of these other places, so this actually would set the precedent that will open the thing wide up if he loses this case.
It could be. And who knows what's going to happen over at district court? Whether they're, you know what? I've known Sedbury for a long time, and let me just say sometimes that he can be kind of kooky. He can be kind of zany out there, and I like this. He's mad because Governor Lulian Guerrero signed a law that was duly heard, considered, and approved by 8 members of the Guam legislature. And so he's mad. He says she violated the law by signing off on that. That's a clear violation of federal law, and somebody needs to do something about it, and I am that somebody. But he says, apparently in other media write-up that I've seen, he said, it should have been done by referendum, like it has been in other places. And I'm going, well, that means that everybody would have been guilty of it then, right?
Well, and they did the medical by referendum, and still the program's not in place, and yet he put the medical program on the book as well on the lawsuit, so that he just
like I said, Dr. Ron McNitch, who's giving out advice on marijuana these days, suggests that this guy actually hire a lawyer to help him with some of the paperwork that goes through there. We'll see what happens. I don't know what the district court is going to be doing or how they're going to be taking a view of that. So it's, as Kevin says, one of those things where we're just going to have to wait and see. And what do I hate doing? I hate waiting and seeing. I'd like the lady over at the court to take a look at it, like this morning at 7:45 when she gets in there, and then send somebody to dispatch the decision to me now.
Reminds me of the old saying, anyone who acts as his own lawyer in court has a fool for a client.
Yeah. Mark Cruz going, kind of kooky? Hey, I'm being nice. It's Monday. Hey, Terrence Uggan is there. Melissa Salas Akimoto. Hey, Melissa, have your husband call me, because there's a couple of pieces of interesting news that came out here. If you like to spend a lot of time, I don't know, Tumon, goofing off, being a ladies' man, and checking out the chicks, right? Just be careful. Wrap that rascal. Have you seen the numbers here? Press release coming out of the Department of Public Health and Social Services. God bless Linda and Pinko DeNorsi. She got the word processor fired up. The Department of Public Health and Social Services commemorates April as STD Awareness Month. The theme for STD Awareness Month: talk, test, and treat. 3 common STDs have increased sharply across the United States for the 4th year in a row. To help reverse this trend, the Department of Public Health and Social Services is calling on individuals and healthcare providers to take these 3 actions to protect themselves, their patients, and their partners from STDs. In 2017, Guam had 1,100 cases of chlamydia. We need names, I think, or pictures or something.
1,100?
1,100
on this tiny island.
1,100 cases of chlamydia, which ranks Guam as having the 5th highest chlamydia rate in the nation. Guys, we can do better. 200 cases of gonorrhea and 21 cases of syphilis, which will make things fall off. So, as the lady says, talk, test, and treat. Hopefully, these numbers don't get out too much. So, you know what I'd love to see? I can get this information too, because I know they track some of this to get an idea of what demographic is generally, your most likely to have symptoms of chlamydia and syphilis and gonorrhea. So it would be interesting to take a note and see, what the spread is. Males, females, people from around here to identify as Chamorro, as Caucasians or Micronesians. Be cool to see some of those kinds of numbers out there. But there they are. There they are, as a matter of fact. Hey, look, it's 6:33. What do you mean, Calacas Ramon? That's a Marco.
these are important. These are vital topics that need to get brought. You got kids out there. We all got and there's one of the things that we have to tell them about. So you know what's going to happen? Somebody's going to go, this is how it's going to work. There's going to be more people out there that are going to be smoking marijuana, and they're going to be forgetting to invest in the learning the words to the Trojan Man song, and there's going to be an increase in all of this stuff. So, recommendation, Linda and Pico DeNorsi. Here's my recommendation to you: is when you, because she's got to be on that the cannabis task force, right? She's got to be on the cannabis control board. So that might be one of the things that you would want to look at. So these are the 2017 numbers. This is where we know where chlamydia is. This is where we know where gonorrhea is. This is where we know where syphilis is. And I'm sure there's something out there for HIV. But keep an eye on those numbers and see what happens post-legalization.
Yeah, perfect solution, though. They can hand out a free condom with every marijuana purchase.
But we can't sell the marijuana just yet. Just yet. There's all kinds of stories about Levin Camacho saying, here's what I know is legal today, and here's where I think we might be headed in the future. Hey, at 6:34, we got a breakaway for headlines from the Guam Daily Post. Here's Kevin Kerrigan.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. And the headlines from the Guam Daily Post this morning: businessman and former senatorial candidate Zedfrey Lingsagan filed a lawsuit in district court Friday seeking a declaration that Guam's recreational and medicinal marijuana laws are null and void because they violate federal law. Lingsagan, who is representing himself, wrote in his complaint that Governor Lulian Guerrero has violated her mandate duties under the Organic Act of Guam, which stipulates that the governor is responsible for the faithful execution of federal laws that extend to Guam. The lawsuit asks the court for an order declaring that the governor of Guam and the legislature have committed official misconduct and violated federal law. On Friday, the Attorney General, Levin Camacho, stated that he would defend the new law against any legal challenges. The Guam Regional Transit Authority is hoping to bring in 10 minibuses under an emergency procurement by September. Interim Executive Manager Celestine Babauta said the Attorney General's office has recommended additions to the emergency procurement package to include communication logs and meeting logs. The revised procurement package will be submitted today. GRTA has only 12 vans and 11 mid-size buses, but due to constant use and lack of maintenance, the working fleet has dwindled down to just 5 vans and 5 buses. Vehicles are being operated 16 hours a day, said Babauta. Guam Economic Development Authority's net operating revenues decreased by $411,000, dropping from $2.6 million in fiscal year 2017 to just $2.2 million last year. The audit was released Friday by the Guam Office of Public Accountability. GIDA's operating revenue was weighed down by a provision for bad debts amounting to $388,000. The agency did reduce its operating expenses, however, due mainly to a decrease in salaries and benefits. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
Thank you, buddy. iConnect time is 6:36 in the morning. Call iConnect at 888-8888 and ask them about great packages they've got for things like mobile phones and internet packages, even push-to-talk. They've got that at iConnect.
Shrimp and guacamole for Lent at Subway. The all-new shrimp and guacamole combines generous portions of whole shrimp and a spread of guacamole served on freshly baked bread, paired with vegetables cut fresh daily in restaurants and sauces that are sure to excite your taste buds. Hurry in, it's only available for a limited time. Other fresh Lenten flavors include the classic tuna or the mouth-watering greatness of our seafood sensation. Don't forget the Veggie Max, a delicious and tasty vegetarian patty. Visit any of our convenient locations today. At Subway, you make it what you want.
The GCC Votech Class of 79 is back. Join them on April 27th at the Onward Beach Hotel for a night of dinner, dancing, skits, and reminiscing. It's been 40 years since graduation, so take advantage of this once-in-a-lifetime chance to relive the memories. There's also a memorial mass on Friday, the 26th, at the Santa Teresita Church. Be there at 5:30 for candle placement in honor of classmates who've gone before. Tickets for the reunion on the 27th are on sale for $40 a person. For details, find Connie Kittigwa St. Nicholas at 488-6108 or Kathy Diaz, 777-3243. Be-Bus 79ers. It's 6:38, and there is nothing happening on the traffic gizmo. I'm looking at it right now. It looks like Gigo is fairly clear, except, a couple of the intersections. You might see traffic building a little bit. Same thing with Marine Corps Drive over by Wysing Song, and a little bit more south, intersection of 1 and 16. The Chicken Joy intersection, where there may still be people that are lined up waiting to get into to Jolly Bee. And my understanding was that the lines went down a little bit yesterday to only 4 hours worth of the wait. So how long is that going to take? We ought to remind me to talk about this here for a second. What have I got here? 8, 10, and 16. Not so bad here yet this morning, but it's going to busy up. You'll see traffic over by the schools and the intersection on Route 10 and 15 starting to busy a little bit. It looks clear on Route 4 all the way into the downtown Agutnia area, and maybe just a little bit as you make your way into to Big Navy now. It's 6:38 in the morning, and that's right now traffic on the point.
When your family needs medical care, how often do you find the need to visit multiple clinics? When a child has a serious ailment, do you find yourself meeting a medical provider only to learn you must go somewhere else for testing? At the FHP Health Center, you can find multiple specialties and testing services under one roof. And if your family needs urgent care, FHP is there for you with convenient weekday, evening, and weekend hours. Voted the island's best clinic and Pika's best 2 years in a row. FHP, our island, your clinic. Learn more at fhpguam.com.
Join us Saturday, April 13th for the 5th annual Chucky Run and Fun 2K, 5K, and Flyaway giveaway. Showtime at 5:30 and go time at 6 a.m. T-shirts, medals, and other cool prizes, including the grand prize trip for two to Manila. Register at Hornet Sporting Goods or Chuck E. Cheese's Guam. $8 for students, $12 for adults, and Group of 4 Super Saver for just $40. The 5th annual Chucky Run and Fun 2K, 5K, and Flyaway giveaway. We'll see you there.
It's the Ray Gibson Show. Morning talk that matters. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Said Free is asking the District Court of Guam in his claim for relief. The illegal acts by the defendants will destroy families, children, the economy, businesses in the island of Guam. It will put more financial pressure on medical system and public coffers to treat those who will be addicted and eventually try stronger drugs. That's the way it works. One puff. And it might as well just, give me the heroin at the same time. Didn't it sound like that? Did you get that kind of noise when you hear all of this stuff? I don't know. Somebody sent me over the weekend. What is it? It's a meme from, I don't know, a video from YouTube. Somebody breaks. I'll find it. I can't. I watched it, and I'm trying to remember if it was one of those things that I was allowed to play on the radio. Where is it? Did he send it to me? Was it him that sent it to me? Was it her that sent it? It was Rudy that sent it to me. Adam ruins everything. The sinister reason weed is illegal. And I might just, Rudy, if you're on already, why don't you go ahead and paste the link of that on the Facebook so everybody else can watch it at their leisure. It's an interesting piece. It's amusing for sure, but it goes back and goes through the history of the demonization of marijuana and the tool that the racist tool that was used to demonize it even further. And put it in a category, oddly, where it is even more potent, more powerful, and deadlier than crystal methamphetamine, which is just boggles my mind. Anyway, so he's looking at, says, this will destroy families, children, the economy, businesses in the island of Guam, putting more financial pressure on the medical system and public coffers to treat those who will be addicted and eventually try stronger drugs. Now, you and I both know people that have smoked marijuana in the past. We'll freely admit it, dude. It was crazy. It was 1978. We were going to watch Staying Alive. we were going to go watch the disco movie, and it was going to be great. And so me and my friends, we smoked, and I didn't like it, and so I never smoked it again. You and I probably know a lot of people that are like that, just not their cup of tea, right? What do you want? I want wine. I want beer. I want Jameson. I want dope. No, it makes me sleepy. Makes me, I don't know, woozy. So I don't know the idea that there is going to be people who are going to be addicted to marijuana. I think there might be some people that enjoy building that habit for whatever reason. And they ought to be charged the premium for it. 6:43 in the morning. So that's kind of the gist of it. There's a lot of points and authorities and identifying Lulian Guerrero as a defendant sued in her official capacity for injunctive and declaratory relief. But I'm trying to figure out what is it that we're going, what kind of injunction are we going to get? What is it that what are we going to stop? We haven't actually started anything just yet. Other than the conversations about where things are supposed to go. 6:44 in the morning, 888-255-888-TALK. As I said earlier, April STD Awareness Month. I probably should have read all the way to the bottom of this thing, but I know I don't like to read to you. So basically, though there's some interesting sentences here, chlamydia, gonorrhea, and syphilis are curable with the right medicines, yet most cases go undiagnosed and untreated, which can lead to severe health problems that include infertility, ectopic pregnancy, stillbirth in infants, and an increased HIV risk. All STD, it gets down to another sentence here, all STDs can be prevented and treated, and most can be cured. Most? I thought it was just you go get a couple of Z-Packs, right? And makes everything go away? Well, apparently not. Check with your doctor if you think there might be something unusual going on. I got yesterday and shared it around with a whole bunch of people the proposed rules and regulations to permit games of chance at the Guam Island Fair and the Liberation Carnival. Talks about the different. It starts off. I love this. The general definitions here, and it's important because of the distinction that I think some people might be failing to make. Is what is a game of chance versus what is the kind of casino games that are going to be showing up over at the it's the card house. So under definitions, they include games of chance. Now, a game of chance includes the Beto Beto, color game, big and small. There's poker, pusoy, baccarat, blackjack, monte, and bingo. And you've got games requiring skill. The contestant actively participates. The outcome depends in material degree upon the skill of the contestant, and only merchandise prizes are awarded. Now, when they talk about the House of Cards, the games that will be played in the House of Cards are the dastardly poker, pusoy, baccarat, blackjack, and monte. I'm not any good at any of these games. I like to think I know a thing or two about blackjack, but for the most part, I'm not big on any of the games. It's not as though I would take my hard-earned Ray Gibson dollars and spend a lot of time in the House of Cards. Sometimes you feel lucky, though, right? Sometimes you get that sense like this could be my lucky day, my lucky night. But now it just comes down to where all of these things are going to go. They do have some of the other things: general conduct, games of chance, minimum age, members in charge of the conduct of the games, rules. All games of chance shall be fully defined and described in the bid packets. Compliance. What is this? Conduct of traditional bingo. Where's the part where they're talking about making sure we've got somebody to stand around and collect some of the fees from, especially inside the House of Cards, from the van. And this is kind of important as well. For those of you that are thinking, you know what, I've got nothing better to do during the hot summer of marijuana love that is going to be 2019. So here's what I'd like to do. Maybe I'd like to become a vendor with some of these games. So there will be 2 vendors for the House of Cards. Kevin, am I reading this right? That's what it says, right? House of Cards, 2 vendors. Does that mean there will be 2 House of Cards? Isn't that interesting? 2 Beto Betos, 4 color games, 2 big and smalls, and 30 to 50 games requiring skill. And if you would like to get involved in this, if you would like to put in a bid for the House of Cards, the minimum bid, get ready for this, $250,000. $250,000 to get you in there. $5,000 for the Beto Beto, $7,500 for the color game. Big and small is is that $20,000 each?
That's interesting. The minimum bid is $250,000 because Angel said that he didn't expect more than $100,000. Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Well, this is just the draft of the plan, though, right?
Yeah.
So when you go back to the draft, big and small, the minimum bid, it says there's too many zeros. It says $20,000 for big and small, but big and small is one of the small games. So my guess is that's $1,000. But if you want to be sure that you're going to win it, I'd go ahead and pony up $20,000. And then the games requiring skill is about $1,000 each, and we've seen a whole bunch of those kinds of things. House of Cards sounds like a red light district. Well, yeah, I don't know why they picked that name. They could have come up with all kinds of other stuff. Maybe there's somebody in marketing. It's a draft. Maybe they'll come up with something else when they start working through some of the other points of the plan that they've got to get through. And there's probably going to be I'll tell you right now, there's probably going to be Jimmy Moylan's going to take a look at this and redline it and send it back and say, come back to me with a little bit more information on this plan. Charlie Laurent is out there. I see Aditya Camarillo, Vicky Ganashis Borja, Rick Leone, Joe 1010. Awful light. Nice to see you. Al Mendoza, El Moore, Joe Bloss, Dave Torrey. We're almost there, Coach. 6 days away from the UGM, and I got just shy of the 8 miles that you told me to get, but I made them hard 8 miles, so it counts. Michelle Pierre is there. Murray Park with a K is there. Joe Leasealangi. Joe, you have not yet sent me the video. Joe Leasealangi works over at Black Construction, and they got a couple of major awards. I mean, and the kind where you're at a trade show, you're at a convention. There's this massive award ceremony, and so he was the designated representative to get up there and grab the awards. And there's a great video. And you couldn't have sent a better representative of Guam and the whole Pacific than old Joe, because Joe's got up there. He's got his beard going. He's got the shells, not the shell lay, but he's got this big lay thing going on. And he's wearing his traditional Samoan skirt as he gets up there and does some cool traditional Samoan dance moves. Joe, you got to send me the video so I can play it for all of our friends here. Ken LG wants to know, where are the rules posted? I've got you on WhatsApp. I'll see if I can copy you on some of those things. At any rate, so I got all these people hanging out with you. A couple of things that I need you to be aware of. Some of which I've riffed on a little bit before. Some of which I have not necessarily gotten around to doing that. But the utilities are at work. Remember the other day I told you about this ad that I saw, and I said, well, this is kind of interesting. It's a public notice that's talking about starting Saturday to September the 9th. I mean, it's already started. It started last Saturday, right? As in Jollibee Saturday. Until September the 19th, motorists traveling on Route 1 should expect intermittent lane closures and shifts beginning from Pali San Vitores intersection up to Tumon Lane as shown on the map. People there will be experiencing slow-moving traffic and delays due to water improvement. And it looks like it's in the area between east-west and, the apartment buildings just before you get to the intersection over at Santos Hill. Looks like it's going to be that area there. And my understanding is it's going to be associated with the construction of the water tank that was behind Nissan. Now, you might not have noticed this unless you're really paying attention, but the big water tank that said Nissan on it, it's gone. It's gone. It's over. But the ad didn't actually say what this was all about. I had to reach out to people that I know at GWA who, said, yeah, that's our work. Whole lot of it, April the 6th until September the 19th. So expect some delays. And it's hard to tell whether this is going to be affecting northbound or southbound traffic. My guess is if it's associated with the tank, it will be on the northbound side because there's a median lane along that direction. So that's GWA observation and notice and story number 1. There is another one that you need to know. Guam Waterworks Authority, better water, better lives, intends to submit a proposed rate increase to the Guam Public Utility Commission. They anticipate this will be on July the 6th. Public hearings will be scheduled in May to allow for input from the ratepayers and the general public. What are the proposed new rates going to be for the Guam Water Works Authority? You know, we talked to these guys. We talked to Cy and Joey, and they're always talking about their big major plan and all of the water works that needs to get done and wastewater works that needs to get done and transmission and distribution of water lines through the pipes and all of the expenses that are going to go along with that. And I know that none of that is going to come in cheap. None of that is going to be inexpensive. So is this the one where GWA is going to take an even bigger bite out of the ratepayers? What's your water bill these days? You got one? You live in an apartment, so they don't give you one, right? That's generally included. Oh, they do? You got a meter on your water in your building?
Yeah, absolutely. It's about $54 a month.
I want to say mine is somewhere around there as well. You know, I don't use a lot. You know, flush and wash and bathing, that kind of thing. I want to say I'm not a heavy consumer. Why?
If I wasn't growing hydroponic weed, it would be cheaper.
Yeah. So, the point that I'm going to make here, friends, is brace yourself. Brace, brace, brace. GWA is talking about a rate increase. And public hearings will be scheduled in May of 2019. Let me see if I can get a hold later on of Miguel Berdallo to find out, you know, what those rates are going to be looking like for somebody that's got about I don't know 5,000, 6,000 gallons a month worth of use. What is my new anticipated water bill going to taste like? Call Simon to explain. I've only got 5 minutes left in the hour. There's not enough time to get to Simon to explain. This is one of those things. This is a 10 to 15-minute Simon call where he talks about Hanamtaki and you know, consent decrees and all of that kind of thing. So we got to wait it out. But remember now, he's only the Consolidated Commission on Utilities. This is GWA now that will, I believe the process is, GWA will have the public hearing. They will talk about the numbers, then take that to the Consolidated Commission on Utilities. They'll either love it or hate it, and then take that to the Public Utilities Commission. I believe that's the order that these things will go under. So, like I said, brace, brace, brace. Cost of everything is going up. Cost of just living on Guam up by 20% with the increase in the business privilege tax, and there might I got to take a look at some of the other things that float. Regine Bisco-Lee with editorials all weekend in both of the newspapers talking about Bill number 1 and some changes that they are proposing to the Dave Santos Act, and you know, having been a smaller business owner at the number of times and the amount of money that it saved me by not having to pay taxes on my small business and the revenue from the small business, and I'm wondering if that opportunity is going to be going away. The last couple of things I wanted to tell you about right now is a couple of other notices that I saw in the news last week that I needed to share with you because, hey, you might have the knowledge, you might have the skill, you might have the sacred wisdom to actually respond to these invitations for bid. GSA is going out on behalf of Guam Customs and Quarantine looking for pre-trained drug detection dogs. Where do you buy that? You got to get them from off island, right? Is it?
I would think so.
I don't think there's anybody around here that is doing that kind of training. So it looks like that maybe the set that they have here is kind of obsolete, kind of old, worn down, and they need to be buying some new fresh doggies out there. Pre-trained drug detection dogs. IFB on behalf of Guam Customs and Quarantine. And this is interesting. The Department of Public Health and Social Services. This might be worth a phone call to Linda and Pinko Denorsi. Is looking for a hotel venue. Does that mean that we're going to have a party in the hotel? Does that mean there's going to be like a big Dusit Tani party, or is this going to be like a smaller little one of the Hyatt rooms? What are we talking about here? Doesn't necessarily say. Maybe the details are in the IFB, but for the newsies that are out there, I give you this one for free. The hotel venue. And so it will. The big questions are going to be: who is going to be paying for it? What's this all about? Does it need to be in a hotel? Could we not have done this at Sagandananya? Is this not something we could have done at Government House? Does it have to be in a big fancy hotel venue? And in my hotel venue people, you know who you are. Yeah, I'm just, I know it's going to be one of those stories. I know that you're just going to want to provide the service, and it will be wonderful, and everybody will be raving about the food. But how many times have we heard about all of these little different parties that people line themselves up for, and come to find out it probably shouldn't have been done with taxpayer dollars.
We got a really big courtyard at my apartment complex. Bring some tents, food trucks, got it set, man, and I'm sure my manager wouldn't charge.
No, exactly. So, I mean, are there other, I don't know what this is for. Award ceremony, I couldn't tell you what the big deal is. Maybe some kind of big training facility or something like that, but does it, when you say hotel venue, I'm hearing the ka-ching go off in my head. Ka-ching, 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 and as I said, if it's going to be taxpayer funded, as a taxpayer, I'd like to know what the party is going to be over at this hotel, and can I show up for my buffet and my open bar, if you don't mind? Can I get a little bit back? Just asking, just being curious. All right, I'm handing that off to Kevin Kerrigan, so one of the astute guys over at the Guam Daily Post might be able to take advantage of the opportunity and go learn a little bit more about that. 6:59 and change as we make our way into the Monday version of the Ray Gibson Show here on 93.3 The Point, and a lot of people fresh from a big, long weekend. Were you one of those that spent literally hours in line, Jollibee? Did you know you could have gotten on an airplane and flown to Manila and got in even Manila traffic and found your way in downtown Makati, where there's in the mall there's a couple of big Jollibees? You could have gone inside the time that you spent in line. You could have gone to Manila and picked it up in the mother country. What's that all about? But it was well attended, I'm sure, and everybody quite satisfied with the process. 7 o'clock in the morning, the radio station is KUSG Hagutnya. My name is Ray, back after Fox News, and plenty more news with Kevin Kerrigan from the Guam Daily Post. That's all ahead.
More manpower at border checkpoints. I'm Steve Rappaport, Fox News. President Trump redeploying 750 agents to border ports of entry to help process migrants coming from Mexico to the U.S.
This sector in particular of El Paso has really been getting slammed, especially with these larger groups of migrants. According to CBP numbers, in this one sector alone, more than 70,000 apprehensions have been made now so far in fiscal year 2019.
Fox's Casey Stiegel. The top Republican on the House Intelligence Committee preparing to send criminal referrals to the Justice Department concerning Special Counsel Mueller's Russia investigation. Fox's Gernal Scott has more live.
Steve, for now, there will be 8 referrals sent by Ranking Member Devin Nunes. On Fox's Sunday Morning Futures, he went into what the first 5 would be.
Straight up referrals, so just referrals that name someone and name the specific crimes. Those crimes are lying to Congress, misleading Congress, leaking classified information.
Nunes did not name names. 3 other referrals will be on conspiracy for lying to the FISA court, manipulating intel, and for leaks. He says right now there are 8 referrals, but there could be as many as 24. The initial referrals will come this week, Steve.
Thanks, Gernal. He's not on the ballot, but President Trump's presence looms over Israel's parliamentary elections on Tuesday.
The country is expecting a tight race between Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his main opponent, Benny Gantz. After the campaigns were launched earlier this year, the two rivals have exchanged insults, gone through numerous scandals, and leveraged their loyalties to try and gain an advantage. Prime Minister Netanyahu has campaigned heavily on the coattails of President Trump and his team visiting the region, especially during the U.S. Embassy move to Jerusalem, even putting out an ad where he is praised directly by Trump.
Fox's Trey Yingst in Jerusalem. This is Fox News.
Let's go for a drive.
Let's take a stroll. Let's gallivant.
Let's go cruising.
We all have different ways to describe how we get up and go in our cars. But whatever you may call it, you can do more of it when you save 6% off your fuel purchases at any Shell station when you use your eligible Bank of Guam Visa and MasterCard credit cards. So stop by any Guam or CNMI Shell station and start saving today. Visit bankofguam.com for more information. Terms and conditions apply. Bank of Guam, the People's Bank. Member FDIC.
KFC has finally answered the world's most important question.
What came first, the chicken or the egg? And the answer is both. Introducing KFC's KFC AM, their new Southern and local-inspired breakfast. AM-loaded platter with chicken fried rice, waffles, and Colonel's chicken congee. KFC also has your all-time favorites, AM chicken and egg wraps, Southern biscuit and sausage sandwich, and hash browns. So for finger-licking good mornings, AM will never be the same at KFC. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Opinion.
A working weekend for White House hopefuls.
On the trail today, former New York Mayor Bill de Blasio in Nevada, who has still not declared his candidacy. Senator Bernie Sanders and Congressman Beto O'Rourke are in Iowa. Senator Cory Booker's in New Hampshire, and South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg is in D.C. He's expected to announce his bid this week. Former Colorado Governor John Hickenlooper is also stumping in South Carolina.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich. Chicago police looking for 2 men suspected of opening fire at a baby shower yesterday, wounding 6 people, including 2 children. Authorities saying the shooting may have been in retaliation for an earlier incident involving gang violence, but they only have little to go on because witnesses are not cooperating. What goes up doesn't always come down. Gas prices rising 12 cents in the last 2 weeks.
In these 12 weeks of pump price rises, it has been predominantly crude oil prices higher and higher that have moved the price of gasoline. But in the past month, gasoline has had its own reasons added to that. One of them is the higher cost summer blend, spring and summer blends of gasoline that cost more to make.
Industry analyst Trilby Lundberg, AAA, saying the average for a gallon of regular is $2.73. Only 2 teams left in the battle of college basketball's best.
A wild sequence at the end of the Virginia game against Auburn put them through to the title game. Trailing by 2, Kyle Guy was fouled on a 3-point attempt with under a second left. He went on to hit all 3 free throws as Virginia advanced to their first national championship in program history, 63-62. No such drama for the Texas Tech Red Raiders as they stymied Michigan State 61-51. Matt Mooney led the Red Raiders with 22 points, while the team held the Spartans to just 32% shooting from the field. Texas Tech and Virginia meet Monday night in Minneapolis.
Fox's Ryan Mayer. I'm Steve Rappaport, and this is Fox News.
Attention homeowners, MRE solar energy systems now come with battery storage for 0 money down. This means that your home will have power even when the island power isn't available, like during power outages or during and after storms. The inconvenience of not having power for your home is a thing of the past. It's solar with battery storage exclusively by Micronesia Renewable Energy. Don't be left in the dark. Call 632-2613 for a free consultation. MRE, the smarter choice.
Guam Regional Medical City. We bring the healthcare advances of the world directly to you. We are an acute care hospital that complements your needs with our robust outpatient specialty clinics. From preventative care to critical care, we strive for consistent excellence at GRMC. Our core philosophy is where patients are partners, which means we work as a team to make a healthier version of you. For more information about GRMC, visit us at grmc.gu.
The stations of Choice Broadcasting are celebrating April 2019 as National Earth Month with the return of our Upcycle Mascot Showdown. Join us on Saturday, April 20 at the Agagna Shopping Center from 3 to 5 p.m. and vote for the best mascot display. Second place wins $250 and first place wins $500. The 2019 Upcycle Mascot Showdown is brought to you by the Agagna Shopping Center, Lolita Kamet from Remax Diamond Realty, Underwater World, Sylvan Learning Center, Family Finance, Buddy's Home Furnishings, and Pitbull Empire.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. News time here at The Point is 7 minutes past 7 a.m. this Monday morning. I'm Kevin Kerrigan. Here's a look now at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. Businessman and former senatorial candidate Zedfrey Linsagin filed a lawsuit in district court Friday seeking a declaration that Guam's recreational and medicinal marijuana laws are null and void because they violate federal law. Linsagin, who is representing himself, wrote in his complaint that Governor Lulian Guerrero has violated her mandated duties under the Organic Act of Guam, which stipulates that the governor is responsible for the faithful execution of federal laws that extend to Guam. The lawsuit asks the court for an order declaring that the governor and the legislature have committed official misconduct and violated federal law. On Friday, Attorney General Levin Camacho said he would defend the new law against any legal challenges. Camacho said every law is presumed to be constitutional and you'd have to prove otherwise. The AG's role, he said, would be to defend this law because we represent the government of Guam and we're prepared to defend the statute if it is challenged. Federal agents seized more than 3,500 grams of marijuana and about $15,000 in cash from a Barragata Heights home in February. According to documents unsealed in district court last week, the seizure took place February 27th. Immigration, national security agents, along with Homeland Security agents, conducted the search. During the search, the federal agents found a red bag that contained suspected marijuana. A field test resulted in a presumptive positive test for marijuana. According to the court documents, the search grew out of an immigration petition for a foreign relative. We'll have more news after this.
Here at APL, our core values give the company its heart and soul. Whether it's connecting your business with our global network through our newly enhanced service or investing our efforts into giving back to the community, APL is committed to serving you. We humbly honor the opportunity to find innovative solutions for you and your business. To learn more about our enhanced service, call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com/Guam for more details.
The stations of Choice Broadcasting are celebrating April 2019 as National Earth Month with the return of our Upcycle Mascot Showdown. Join us on Saturday, April 20 at the Agana Shopping Center from 3 to 5 p.m. and vote for the best mascot display. Second place wins $250 and first place wins $500. The 2019 Upcycle Mascot Showdown is brought to you by the Agana Shopping Center, Lolita Kamet from Remax Diamond Realty, Underwater World, Sylvan Learning Center, Family Finance, Buddy's Home Furnishings, and Pitbull Empire.
10 minutes past 7 a.m. here at The Point. The casino-style card games that are now authorized for the Liberation Carnival will be played on Carnival grounds after all. Following passage of Senator James Moylan's Bill 29 on March 30th, Mayor's Council of Guam Executive Director Angel Sablan said there will not be a casino building on Carnival grounds, explaining that the mayors want to make sure there is a family-friendly environment at the Liberation Carnival. Whoever wins the Carnival gaming bid, he said, will be asked to rent space somewhere off the Carnival grounds to conduct the gaming activity. Governor Lou Leon Guerrero signed Senator Moylan's bill into law Thursday, and the draft rules and regs were submitted to the legislature just this past Friday. They propose allowing the casino-style card games like poker and blackjack to be played exclusively inside a so-called card house on the casino grounds, while the more traditional games of chance like the color game and Beto Beto would be played throughout the Carnival grounds. Sablan explained that he got a call last week from Senator Moylan, who said that the intent of his bill was to have all the games held on the Carnival site. Moylan acknowledged that he did discuss the issue with Sablan last week and told him that all the games must be held on the Carnival grounds. We came to an understanding, said Senator Moylan. A Department of Corrections policy asking employees to take compensatory time off instead of overtime pay is drawing some criticism from the local teachers union. GFT Field Representative Robert Koss says DOC's position is disingenuous because DOC is operating at 50% of its staffing needs, and they're unlikely to grant employees any leave when they ask for it. DOC Acting Director Samantha Brennan said she had not seen a union memorandum opposing the requests. As of April, however, overtime is capped at DOC, she said. Any overtime accrued beyond the cap will be deemed as reflecting to earn compensatory time off in lieu of paid time off, according to the memo issued by Brennan. She said that the policy is needed in light of limited resources and will remain in effect until financial resources become available. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Ray and Mike now with a look at weather.
I got mostly sunny skies today, a slight chance of light showers. Winds from the east about 10 miles an hour. Highs expected to be about 89 degrees and overnight lows should be about 76. Taper week for all of the marathon runners and everybody in the UGM. So take it easy out there. Hydrate, practice your nutrition while you're on the run, and get used to running in the heat, especially if you're going to be starting later on Sunday morning. Sunset tonight at 6:33. Sunrise tomorrow morning. I'm going to put that about 6:10, 6:11. I got a feeling that's going to be coming in super early, which means that you'll start to see the sun rise before it gets to be 6 o'clock. You'll start to see the sun cross over on the gray line, so watch out for all of that. My buddy Michael Knight's going to take a look at the weather radar, give you an idea of what the weather conditions are going to be like for the drive-in.
Yeah, as we look at the radar, we see some stuff moving now. Probably a little bit of shower activity to our west, but it's moving away. The stuff to the east, I'm guessing, is just what I like to call heavy clouds. It's clouds that it's raining virga. Virga is rain that falls but evaporates before it can actually hit the ground, because we're getting some.
There's a word for that?
There really is, yeah.
Huh.
So that's what's going on here. We've got drier air moving in. I can't rule out the possibility that some of these supposed showers will maybe sprinkle a little bit on you as they pass on by, but it's just not going to be much to even think about. Going to satellite, we'll see why. We can see a general clockwise circulation in the cloud signature, and that means high pressure is building in, and it's building in from the east this time, and so it's kind of pushing all these clouds. You can see the blobage down to our southwest just getting pushed right along towards the Philippines, and this is going to settle in and keep things dry for us throughout the rest of this week. Winds will also be very light, so it's going to be hot, man.
Gotcha. And the lighter winds, actually, there's a blessing and a curse on that, because number one is going to keep everything warm. But for everybody that is in their training right now, like I said, even if it's just taper week training, just a couple of miles here and there, you feel good running against the wind, because it ain't going to be as hard on you this week as it was in the previous weeks. It's 7:13. That's news and weather together here on The Point.
Hey, are you ready to afford the good life? For example, cooking in a gourmet kitchen that is as amazing as your skills. Or how about paying off tuition? Or maybe expanding your home to make room for your parents? Live beyond your dreams, within your means, with a low-rate home equity line of credit from First Hawaiian Bank. To learn more or to apply, visit any branch or FHB.com. First Hawaiian Bank. It all starts with yes. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Quarter after 7 o'clock in the morning, Ray Gibson Show brought to you by King's, home of an incredible Lenten menu that they've got in line for you. Now, I also want to let you know one of the other things that they're going to be doing is Chuck E. Cheese. There's a couple of races going on this weekend. One of them is the United Guam International Marathon. That's Sunday, but there is a 5K that they have been running over at Chuck E. Cheese since about when they started having a Chuck E. Cheese, and that's going to be taking place on Saturday over at GPO. Last weekend's GPO race, very well attended. Lots of people went down there. It was fun. A lot of great events, and a lot of people that hit their PRs on that very, very interesting course. Great chance to do it again this weekend. You want information, go and find Chuck E. Cheese, and he'll tell you all about it. Also, this weekend, they light up the fires at Smokin' Wheels up at the Calvo Memorial Racetrack up in Jigo. It's going to be 3 days of events, 3 nights. We've got Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, all kinds of stuff going on for the entire family. Guys over at Cars Plus getting geared up. You're going to be in the competition. We'll get some fresh gear from them as well. And if you can't wait, or you can wait, then make sure you get a chance to go and see the guys from Cars Plus at their booth space that they were going to have set up over at the Smokin' Wheels. Guam Regional Medical City brings you portions of the program, your first choice for your specialty care needs. Micronesia Renewable Energy. There's never been a better time to go solar. And APL, they're shipping the future.
Rediscover talk radio here. It's the Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Online pals this hour, Nate Horn, who sent me a picture of the habu sake that they've got in Okinawa. Yeah, there's more for you because I'm not going to drink that. My running buddy Doris, nice to see you out in the last bunch of days here. I know you're getting ready for everything on this coming weekend. Ken LG, we were talking about dogs that they need to get. Customs and Quarantine needs to buy dogs, pre-trained drug-sniffing dogs, drug detection dogs. And I wonder what kind of drug detection dogs they're going to be buying now that we're in a post-legal day and age. You know, or do you still need them? Well, I guess you would. The importation bans and things like that the federal government is still going to lay on over at the airport. Pre-trained drug detection dogs. Wonder if there's anybody that has the skills to be able to put that kind of training together for dogs here on Guam. Because wouldn't it be something? You know, you get busted by a boony dog in the village. Former Governor Carl T.C. Terrace Online, John Wigston, Pam Duvall. And Pam's got some interesting things to say about the way justice is being meted out in the Catholic Church. More on that in a minute. Margaret Blas, Gerard Estoy, and Sherry Lynn Diffentorum. Joe Dizon, Kenny Williams, and is on board this morning as well. Looking at the clock here, 7:17. We'll take a look at what happened on the in the markets over the weekend. It is our Monday, but their Sunday back stateside. So how'd the markets close for the weekend? Dow Jones Industrial Average, 26,424. That's up 40 points. The NASDAQ at 79.38. They're up 46 or so points. And the S&P 500 cranking in at 28.92. Picked up 13 points in trade. Biggest winner is going to be the NASDAQ. Even though it's under a percent, it's about 0.6% worth of an increase on Sunday. So any of the numbers that we need to look at here? I don't have the Bitcoin open. Maybe Mike can find that on his computer. Gold trading at $1,295. And the reason why Bitcoin is interesting is because it went from 47 up to about 53 over a fairly short amount of time. And do we have the numbers now? Oh, that you were looking for? You leaned over the computer, so I thought you were talking to me. All right. Well, the Bitcoin is trading around
51.59.
What? 51.59. So, okay, so it's kind of it's over 5 is the point.
Yeah, absolutely, and it still looks like it's continuing its upward trend.
Gotcha.
Slow though, which you want it to go slowly upward. You don't want these huge dives because that's crazy. That's volatility. You want that steady, slow climb.
You know, we're seeing steady, slow climbs and rake hikes. Rake hikes. No, Mike caught me last week. He says, I was trying to say rate hikes, but I was all excited about it, and it kept coming out rake heights. Yeah, 40 years, man and boy.
It's a whole new language. Man.
Yeah, $63.08. That's what West Texas is going for these days. That and the change in the formulation is causing gas prices across the country to increase, up 95 cents per barrel. West Texas crude for Tappas crude, 72.60. Better news there, off by about 50 cents from where it was last week. I was talking about drug dogs. Troy Torres calls in. Good morning, Troy.
Good morning, Cousin Ray.
Cousin Troy, what are you working on today?
Oh, lots of stuff.
What?
We're going to go to Adelup and try to get the governor to answer questions about tax refunds.
What do you want to know about tax refunds? They put $843,000 in tax refunds went out Friday.
Yeah, that's all for tax year 2017 and prior.
Yep.
What we want to know is how much money is in the tax refund efficient payment trust fund, which is the checking account, and how much is in the tax refund reserve account, which is the savings account. Which would give us an idea of what the cash flow situation is in the government, and also what their cash flow model is showing as to how much in tax refunds they anticipate to pay out for tax year 18.
Well, based on existing collections and what's anticipated to come on the 14th or the 15th. Yeah,
the 14th or the 17th.
I think it's going to be the 15th. Normally there's something in Washington D.C. I forget what the holiday is, but apparently that is not going to apply here.
So Scary Day is the 17th.
No, 15th.
Or the 15th. Scary Day is the 15th, or Liberal Day is the 15th.
Yeah, that's my understanding, the Ides.
Got it. I know where to find some. My dogs are drug detection dogs. I just wanted to share that little joke with you.
You do not have drug detection dogs. You are just, that's Troy Torres Bola right there. What do you mean they're drug detection dogs?
I really have no other, nothing else to bring up, except well, now that I've got a microphone, as I was driving this weekend, I just thought, and I know this is like a perpetual issue, but if someone at Guam Waterworks Authority could just go and speak with someone at Department of Public Works, and they could just synchronize their road construction so that, when a new road is built, because all of GIGO is getting new roads.
Yes.
So if GWA could not just, oh, look, a new road, let's dig it up and put more pipes where they don't even belong.
They haven't done that up in GIGO, did they? I mean, that's a shiny piece of blacktop they just did up in GIGO. It's like down in near Camp Assun, they did some work on the Zaf roads there.
It's just a matter of time before GWA.
No, you got to, what, residents of GIGO, you guys take turns securing it. Just go up and down with the gun. And anybody that tries to dig a hole or knock a lateral across the road, just say, no, you had your chance.
Well, this is the Republic of Jigo, and our mayor is pretty gangster, so.
All right, cuz I'll talk to you pretty soon.
All right, Cousin Ray.
Drug detecting dogs, right on. Troy Torres, always nice to hear him chiming in, and it's always nice to when he chimes in on this show. I think that's always a good thing. It means I'm not a target. As far as today is concerned, I'm not a target of any Troy Torres editorials online,
and that's a good thing.
That's always a good thing, right? 7:22 in the morning. Jerry Roberts in the studio. How you doing?
I'm well today, thank you.
I'm glad to hear that. Did you have a crazy weekend? In line at Jollibee?
No, sir.
No.
I told you I was doing sitting at home.
Is there a vegan line that they have over at Jollibee?
Yeah.
Well, it might be. You never know. Maybe it's a secret Jollibee menu, and just walk in there and you do the secret vegan handshake, and somebody will know to bring you out
You can go in and just order rice.
kale burger.
Rice is vegan, right?
They use the Star Trek handshake, right?
I think that could be what it is. So I'm remiss. I'll get an answer for you. Yeah. Because Jerry, I had the guys from Foremost in the studio last week talking about their Rocky Road ice cream, and Jerry was commenting on the pictures that I put up. He said, "Did you ask them about vegan ice cream?" Of course not.
Marcus can't even spell vegan, so
But now describe for the listeners vegan ice cream. What's the difference? How is it formulated differently than the kind of ice cream that I would get from Foremost?
No milk.
Zero milk.
That's it.
Come from a cow. No dairy.
No dairy.
So what is it replaced with? What goes in there? What
Almond milk sometimes.
The cream replacement?
It could be almond milk. I think that's generally kind of.
There's no udders on almonds.
If you look carefully.
You might be able to see something. Just spend all morning milking those almonds and trying to get the milk out of them. I don't know. Is an almond a sustainable plant? Because they tell me that one of the things about almonds is they require a lot of water. So the trade-off, I think, in clean water and the production of almond milk versus just pulling it out of a cow, which is designed to do something like that, is unsustainable practice to some people.
It's tough to shoot hormones in almonds, as far as I understand. Okay, so that's one thing. Yeah, I think it is sustainable. There's water, there's clean water, there's whatever you got.
Yeah, I guess. I don't. Just somebody said that there's an awful lot of water that comes out. You get gallons and gallons that will eventually get you pounds and pounds worth of almonds.
Yeah, and they're expensive one way or the other. So and that's why vegan ice cream might be a little bit more.
Okay.
Than
is there a soy thing that they make in that with that as well?
Some people can use soy,
like a
soy,
tofu.
Yeah, in fact, there was a thing called tofuti.
Yeah, I remember
years ago.
tofuti. Yes,
and that was pretty good.
Yeah, when I was living in Hawaii, that was my go-to treat.
Yeah, it doesn't appear on the shelves anymore.
No, I haven't seen it in forever.
For example, Payless is, I think it's really the only
because they
grocer
opened
that
up
brings
yogurt
it in.
lands and yogurt land. I think in terms of what you can do with it and the different flavors that you got. Because when that was the 80s. I was living in Hawaii, and the thing that we had out there was, I think they had 3 different flavors, and it was a good day when you could mix up the vanilla and the strawberry, or the vanilla and the chocolate.
And now they got all kinds of things.
Yeah.
Yeah. But as far as the availability, Payless was bringing in a lot of different kinds of vegan ice cream for a while. Ben & Jerry's was the leading brand. And I'm always trying to twist Mike Benito's arm and say, hey, there's like 1,000 vegan ice creams out there. And
could you bring in just one?
How about bringing about 10 of them in? And they brought about 5 or 6, I think, at one point. They didn't sell all that well, so I asked you, put me on the board of directors of the Vegan Ice Cream Committee, and I'll be happy to choose the right ones for you.
I've heard that from people in the retail game. This is friends of mine in the gas station industry, and I'm always I'm harping on them. I say, well, you need to have more healthier options in the gas stations, in the convenience stores, in the gas stations. And they said, yeah, we've tried that, Ray. It's the dustiest part of the building because nobody picks up those packages. They just send out the signal, healthy, when you're in there looking for something salty and crunchy and carb-loaded, right?
Yeah, you're not going to find anything at the gas stations. Not really.
Every once in a while, you get a nugget in there. So, Jerry Roberts in the studio. Must be time for today's Extra Point, brought to you here by Guahan Insurance Services and the team over at First Hawaiian Bank, where it all starts with yes.
If you ask 100 CEOs, business owners, and human resource managers if empowering workers is a good idea, I don't think you'll find anyone who disagrees. Well, if nobody disagrees, then why don't more workers feel or act empowered? That's coming next on the Extra Point.
Hey, Are you ready to afford the good life? For example, cooking in a gourmet kitchen that is as amazing as your skills. Or how about paying off tuition? Or maybe expanding your home to make room for your parents. Live beyond your dreams, within your means, with a low-rate home equity line of credit from First Hawaiian Bank. To learn more or to apply, visit any branch or FHB.com. First Hawaiian Bank. It all starts with yes. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
It's important to have claims process that works for you. At Guahan Insurance Services, we make things simple and convenient. Same door you walk in to purchase your insurance is the same door you open to file your claim. We can't pretend that the car insurance claims process is fun, but we can promise a hassle-free and speedy recovery without any runarounds. For your home, auto, and business insurance, visit us at the Camacho Landmark Center on Marine Corps Drive in Tamuning. Don't forget to like us on Facebook or give us a call at 475-1162 or text 929-SAVE. That's 929-7283.
Empowering employees has been a hot topic in HR and management circles for about as long as another term, engagement. We mentioned that the Gallup organization reports annually on engagement, and in general, 2 out of 3 workers are not actively engaged with their work. They show up and put in their time, but for whatever reasons, don't give their best efforts. Does empowerment have anything to do with engagement? Yes, it does. According to the research by Aberdeen Group, a company that collects and analyzes data across 200-plus business sectors, when workers feel empowered at their job, they're more likely to want to succeed and take on tasks with confidence. This averages out, they say, to a 26% annual increase in revenue. When your employees feel important, quality follows quickly. Empowerment, at its most basic form, can be divided into 2 types, what I call real and realized. Real empowerment is conferred upon a worker by someone who has the power to do so. We're dealing with issues of authority here. If you're my boss, you can delegate authority to me on a job-by-job basis, or I inherit authority through my position. Realized empowerment is when the worker accepts that authority, along with whatever responsibilities accompany it, and they step up their game accordingly. If he or she doesn't, what might be the issue? I'd ask if the worker is comfortable using their authority. Not everybody is. Do they feel safe in making decisions because they know their boss gives them freedom to fail? Or are they timid because they know they'll probably get criticized for making a mistake? People won't step out and make decisions if they fear what might happen. Therefore, we should hand out authority carefully and thoughtfully and judge its effectiveness the same way. If we're harsh in our assessment, the individual may pull back and decide there's too much risk involved. On the other hand, if you, the giver of authority, doesn't help me through the tough spots and grow my authority, then my success will likely be slower than it should be. If you're the person giving authority to others, you've got a definite interest in the outcome. If workers don't take up the responsibility, your job is tougher. The goal of every manager should be to grow talent and have their roles increase, freeing that manager up for more important roles, such as solving problems or building the department, the division, or the entire enterprise. I recommend managers keep their eyes and ears open to be able to judge how individuals are handling the situation. Further, empowerment is a term we use with HR, but not in general conversation. I'm not going to walk up to you and say, "Hey, Ray, do you feel empowered today?" I think you might look at me funny. Tomorrow, more on empowerment and a plan on how to make it work. That's the extra point. Get out there and make something good happen today for 93.3, The Ray Gibson Show, Guahan Insurance Services, and First Hawaiian Bank. I'm Jerry Roberts.
I feel empowered.
You feel empowered.
Yes, I do.
Put your hands on the radio.
And you'll feel the radio.
Yay.
Ismail says there's a food truck that offers avocado-based and coconut milk-based ice cream.
Okay.
But didn't say where it is. I just presume it's Thursday is when they do the food truck things in downtown, behind the museum and in between Pro and when is somebody, the Seaside restaurant, when is somebody going to reopen a restaurant in there? It's been a while.
But it's I think what once, twice, 3 strikes on that location.
Well, I don't know. Old Agania Grill was doing all right for a while. They had a nice long run there
They had a long run, and then suddenly no, and then after that, like once or twice, and it just hasn't worked there.
Well, whether the custom, the clientele was changing enough, I don't know. I'd walk in there and I'd spend usually my first comment when I walked in was, "My God, I haven't been in a room like this. Look at all the white people I don't know." That doesn't happen all that often.
Hey, so if you've got the vegan, what was that? Who was it?
The Ismail. Ismail, yes. Food truck, avocado and coconut-based ice cream.
Okay, so if you're the guy with the avocado and coconut-based ice cream, call the Ray Gibson Show and tell people where you're going to be.
Yeah.
And put a sign out or something.
Well, it might be one of those things where they might even have an app. I mean, that's one of the things that all these guys need to be encouraged to do is if you're a food truck guy, and that's the whole deal, right, is you're mobile. You don't need to be in the same place all the time.
That's right.
So there ought to be an app where people can go to and say, this is where he is.
Wouldn't take much to code one of those things up.
No, wouldn't at all. Not. And Pam Duvall says, love Ben & Jerry's Cherry Garcia.
Yep.
Which was a big favorite. A couple of things online. I posted, and I've mentioned this before. There's a lot of things that are changing, and there's a lot of opportunities, I think, in the business world to find a way to get into marijuana. I've mostly been concentrating on ways to do it without actually handling it. Putting your hands into and on the marijuana product. Because there are going to be some people that say, look, I want to be in the game, but I don't want to grow it. I don't want to dispense it. I don't want to lab it. Okay. But if you're one of those guys that is thinking about maybe getting some personal consumption, I was looking at a thing from Guam Sustainability, and that launched me into another search for hydroponics for marijuana growth. And so I put that online. Look, it's legal today. If you've got seeds, there should be a mechanism for you to be able to start growing this in your house for your own personal consumption.
So you would think.
So there's systems that you can put together. There's systems that are more plug and play, and the article should give you a decent primer on how to get that done.
There's going to be a lot of information coming out in the next couple of months, depending on how this court case goes and how those things happen. But there'll be a lot of things coming forth in terms of if people are going to want to get involved with this, then there'll be ways to do it.
Oh, well, I mean, it seems to me that there are already some articles and essays, if you will, that are being written on what we know based on the law that was passed and what we anticipate to happen after the Cannabis Control Board gets set up.
I've said before, I'm not a marijuana smoker, but the point is if there was a pain situation there and it could be relieved, then I would imagine, I might be interested in that. But I'm more interested in the CBD oil. And where that goes, that conversation.
On that subject, did you see the video that I tagged you in? There's a lady in Australia, Parkinson's disease, and she showed, she was like, she's just shaking. I mean, she's like, and I took my meds, and they don't do anything. She took some can of butter, put it on a couple of biscuits, and ate it. 20 minutes later, it's like you and me. She's like, she has nothing wrong with her.
Yeah, there's just a whole lot. There's documentaries on Netflix and elsewhere about the CBD oil, and we just need to know more about it. That's all, and so how to figure how to work that into a business. If that's the real benefits there, I know the recreational side. I get that, but in terms of the CBD oil, if there's some real scientific benefits to that, then people need to look deeply into that topic.
Yeah, one of the demonstrations of the lack of knowledge about CBD is the fact that is one of our, if not our only supplier, Laddystone Wellness Center, had to close down. I believe that just wasn't getting enough business up there, and people just didn't know about it, although there are people here who have applied for medicinal marijuana use that would have benefited from some of their products.
Well, my knowledge is that the recreation bill is passed, but the CBD side of it has not been figured out.
Yeah,
they're still stopping people.
There's so many tangents to the whole thing.
Somehow put this whole thing together. Let's do it, don't do it, but I mean, get this thing ironed out to where people know where they're coming from.
That's
so many things that are just not straight yet.
Well, it's all brand new. The CBD thing, I didn't, until we started talking about it, a month and a half ago, something like that. I mean, what CBD? What's that? And now we've got that, which everybody's trying to figure out how they can corner that particular market. Plus, we got the weed thing that's happening, and it is happening simultaneously. Yeah, 7:36 in the morning. Kevin Kerrigan from the Guam Daily Post has got all your headlines ready to go.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. In the headlines from the Guam Daily Post this morning, the Port Authority of Guam Board of Directors has approved a resolution calling on the governor and legislature to pass a bill authorizing bond funds to be reprogrammed to make urgently needed repairs to the aging and damaged F1 wharf. F1 is the primary offloading wharf at the port, used for most incoming cargo. At the April 5th board meeting, Port Authority General Manager Rory Respicio said there are structural issues, there's corrosion, the pilings need to be addressed. An underwater assessment and inspection of the wharf done last July found severe concrete fracturing and spalled concrete with exposed rebar. The rebar is rusting, and the extent of corrosion has increased significantly since the 2017 inspection. Port Authority Board Chairman Frank Santos warned that if the Coast Guard condemns the F1 wharf, no vessel will be able to dock there, and it's going to cripple the island, he said. The board approved a resolution calling on the governor and legislature to introduce a measure to permit the terms of the current bond to be restructured and allow some of the money to be reprogrammed to repair that wharf. Guam Memorial Hospital Authority's skilled nursing unit located in Barrigada Heights will retain its Medicare certification. GMH Administrator Lillian Perez-Posadas confirmed that CMS has said that the nursing unit will not lose its Medicare certification. She said the hospital is still waiting, however, on a decision from the federal agency about its own Medicare certification. GMH submitted a corrective action plan to address two issues cited by CMS in January survey of GMH. Those issues are quality assessment and performance improvement, as well as anesthesia services. The corrective action plan was sent to CMS on March 29th. If they accept it, CMS will send another survey team to confirm the plan has been implemented. GMH risks losing more than $20 million annually in Medicare reimbursements from the federal government if it fails to meet CMS standards. A chlorinating product used to kill bacteria and contain algae growth in swimming pools was used to sanitize a 500,000-gallon drinking water tank on Andersen Air Force Base. The tank provides drinking water to base facilities on Northwest Field. The 36-wing Public Affairs Office confirmed that chlorine tablets sold under the pool time label were used. The label states that the product is toxic. A public notice was sent on January 15th to service members who may have been exposed to the drinking water. The Guam Environmental Protection Agency has issued a notice of violation to Andersen Air Force Base for using the pesticide to clean a drinking water tank, and the Air Force Base was fined. The amount of the fine, however, was not disclosed. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
Thank you, Kev. 7:39. That's the time here in the studio. That's iConnect time. Swing by an iConnect today and learn about mobile internet, even push-to-talk plans. Call them at 888-8888.
Are you shopping for a home loan with a low rate and a fast closing? Because that's what you get with a Bank Pacific My Home Loan. All of our loan decisions are made here by people who understand our island. So whether you're buying or building a home or looking to refinance your existing home loan to a lower rate, come see us at Bank Pacific, where we're open to closing your loan in a hurry.
Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
Equal housing lender, credit conditions apply. Be the Bank Pacific.
Right on here. Wow. A totally hot offer at Wendy's and only for a limited time. Get ready. $2 premium chicken sandwiches. You can choose from their spicy and make the best spicy chicken sandwich on island or home-style chicken sandwiches. All we can say is wow to $2 premium chicken sandwiches at Wendy's.
Experience the Take Care difference. Take Care members can count on accessing a high-quality, credentialed network of on-island providers, including the convenient one-stop FHP Health Center and Urgent Care, access to an extensive off-island network of providers, and the island's largest offering of free fitness classes and health education programs. You can count on Take Care to deliver comprehensive, accredited insurance coverage and quality health care when and where you need it. Take Care. Our island, your health plan. Learn more at takecareasia.com.
Traffic Gizmo, that's where it is. You know what's going to be happening on the roadways. Usually around this time at 7:41, it's going to be busy at all of the major intersections. 1 and 3 busy. The intersections over by the gas stations up around the Dedado where Waiseng Song is. Traffic southbound is slowing down as you're making your way through into there. It will continue to build in the next couple of miles until you get down to the Tooling area around St. John's. It'll open up a little bit and then only be a problem when you get get to the intersections. It's just that kind of day. Route 1 is busy up in that direction. 10 and 15 busy in both directions, in and outbound. Don't see too much happening over by Untalon Middle School right now. 4 and 10 starting to build up. We've got a couple of other intersections between 4 and 10 in the downtown Agutney area that could slow you down as you're making your way into town here this morning. Also looking like things are starting to get busy in front of Navy Hospital. Big Navy is a little bit slow getting in there, or maybe just a line of people over at Infusion. I'm not sure. 742, that's right now traffic here on The Point.
Shrimp and guacamole for Lent at Subway. The all-new shrimp and guacamole combines generous portions of whole shrimp and a spread of guacamole served on freshly baked bread, paired with vegetables cut fresh daily in restaurants and sauces that are sure to excite your taste buds. Hurry in, it's only available for a limited time. Other fresh Lenten flavors include the classic tuna or the mouth-watering greatness of our seafood sensation. Don't forget the Veggie Max, a delicious and tasty vegetarian patty. Visit any of our convenient locations today. At Subway, you make it what you want.
Join us Saturday, April 13th for the 5th annual Chucky Run and Fun 2K, 5K, and Flyaway giveaway. Showtime at 5:30 and go time at 6 a.m. T-shirts, medals, and other cool prizes, including the grand prize trip for two to Manila. Register at Hornet Sporting Goods or Chuck E. Cheese's Guam. $8 for students, $12 for adults, and Group of 4 Super Saver for just $40. The 5th annual Chucky Run and Fun 2K, 5K, and Flyaway giveaway. We'll see you there.
Elaine Garcia online this morning. She says, "Hi, Ray. Is there?" And then there's nothing after that. I don't do what do you distract? I know it's Monday. It distracts everybody. I see how you are. 888-255-888-TALK. Christopher Ogo says, "Smile, damn it. Could be worse." I don't know. I thought I've been smiling all morning. Was there somebody scowling on the Facebook Live and the YouTube Live? There's no frowny faces on Fridays, and there's no frowny faces on Mondays. Said Freeland Sagen with multiple frowny face going on over the weekend. He filed a complaint in the district court against the government of Guam and Lulian Guerrero acting in her official capacity. And we'll talk about that maybe in a little bit. But I did want to get this on. I was talking about something I saw advertised that I thought needed a little bit more by way of explanation. The general manager of the Guam Waterworks Authority is on the line with me, Miguel Berdalia. Good morning, Miguel.
Good morning, Ray. How are you?
I'm okay. I just kind of, watching the dollars flow out of my wallet faster and faster, and I'm wondering how bad I as a ratepayer, I might get nicked on this rate hike you guys are talking about.
For you, probably about $3 more a month.
Around something like that? I mean, we're not talking about some crazy huge amount for water or wastewater, right?
No, the proposed 5-year financial plan that we got approval on Thursday to release to the public for the 90-day comment period is not as high as the previous 5-year rate plans cumulatively. So it's, still no one likes to see their rates go up.
Yeah.
They're lower than the rates that were raised before in terms of percentages, and it is necessary for us to raise the rates in order to meet our obligations under the court order and continue the capital improvement program that we've presented previously last year about this time with our 2018 master plan update.
So if I'm in about the $55 range, and I think that's about right, between $55 and $60, shouldn't be going up by any more than $3 or $4.
Yeah, for those customers who use right around the 5,000 gallon a month mark, the first year's increase will only be about $2.30, and at the end of the 5-year rate plan, it'll be $1.62.
Okay, all right, and so now is just public comment period, and public hearings are going to take place sometime in May.
Yeah, we have the approval to release, so we published the notice. We will get the financial plan and the 5-year CIP posted on our website this week, and we're putting together a series of public meetings that will happen mid-May.
Oh, like town halls?
Yeah, it's similar to the way we rolled out the master plan, Ray. We spent on that one, we did 3 village meetings, and then total of 9, including the Mayor's Council and Hotel and Restaurant Association, the Engineer Society, things like that. So we'll do a series of public meetings and present the 5-year financial plan and CIP.
All right, that's going to happen on July 6th or so.
No, May.
No, I meant you'll make the presentation in July.
No, we'll make the presentations in May in the public hearings.
But I'm referring to the conversation that you have to have with the Public Utilities Commission.
Public Utilities Commission is 45 days, no sooner than 45 days after the 90-day period. So
Okay.
public comment for 90 days, and only after we've completed that can we file a petition with the PUC, and at minimum is 45 days before they hear it. So we're thinking it's probably going to end up being their August meeting.
Okay, I'm a little bit fuzzy on the steps that get taken here and who takes them. Now, is this something that you got? Where's the CCU in here? Does the CCU take this from you then and establish the connection between GWA and the Public Utilities Commission, or is it CCU first, then GWA, then PUC?
So the CCU first must adopt. So we're in the public comment period, and then we'll bring it back to them after we've gone out to the public and conducted our outreach and received the comments. We'll bring it back to the CCU for final approval.
Mm-hmm.
They may decide to make changes, they may not, based on the public comment. And then after they approve and adopt the rate plan, then they also give us permission to petition the PUC.
I see.
At that point, then we have to file with the PUC, wait 45 days, give them enough time to review it. Of course, we'll be giving them as much information in advance as possible to help facilitate that review. And then the PUC takes it up at their, we don't think we're going to make July, so it's probably going to be their August meeting.
That is fine. So it gives me another couple of months to keep the money in my pocket here. When you said the information will be on the GuamWaterworks.org website soon, so I'll be able to actually take a look at the proposed numbers?
Yes, we're planning to have it up this week.
Okay, all right. I'll keep an eye out for that. I did notice something last week, a public notice that went out that says that starting on Saturday, this one behind us, and until September or so, motorists on Route 1 should expect intermittent lane closures and shifts. And it looks like it's in between the area between East-West Rental and just north of Nissan Auto City.
Yeah, the tank that we had there has been demolished, and we're constructing a new concrete reservoir. That's one of the court order projects that's ongoing. The piping connections associated with that will cross Marine Drive, so there will be some traffic interruptions when we make those connections.
Which way are they coming in from? I would think that most of the water lines would be on the inland side as opposed to the other side.
You would think, but no, they're not.
Wow. Okay, so you guys are gonna have to cut some laterals in across the street.
Yeah, we're putting in new lines and also some PRVs to help moderate the pressure down in Tuman. Our pressures in Tuman are very high, and we need to fix that. So that's part of this project.
Okay. From online listening, Lady D says, when are you going to fix the meters?
Our target is to try and get that done by the end of this fiscal year. So we're hoping by September we'll have resolved our meter issues with that one particular model that's giving us a headache.
Yeah. What do you have a handle on the numbers? You know, how many do we have in total? How many of them have failed in service and need to get replaced?
So the ones that we have right now, with the ones that we have right now ordered, we'll probably need about 6,000 more meters.
Mm-hmm.
The total was of our residential meters. The total was probably around 60 to 70% of our residential meters that turned out to be problematic.
Wow!
They didn't all hit us at once. It was a gradual failure. It seems to be right around when they got 5 years old, we started to see problems with them under registering or not registering at all. And so we've focused our efforts on change out with the oldest ones first, and we're continuing that effort now.
Do we get any kind of liquidated damages from the company, or is it under warranty?
We're working with that. We've taken a pretty hardline position with the company, and there may be some pending litigation. We're trying to avoid that. They're trying to avoid that.
Mm-hmm.
So we're working on that.
Gotcha. And there were a couple of other things I wanted to talk to you about while I had you on the line. One of them had to do with, as a general manager. Never mind the engineering stuff. I know you can handle. Have you been up and down with your HR people, your personnel people, and the executive order that came out of the governor's office last week about the drug-free workplace policy?
Yeah, ours hasn't changed, and we'll get some information out today or tomorrow on that to our employees. But
Yeah.
they're aware. Most of our employees that deal with public health and safety issues for our water and wastewater systems are in testing designated positions that there's already prohibitions against that, regardless of whether it's legal or not. And so those have not changed. So we'll clarify that and get some information out to our employees through a memo.
All right. Well, let me know if I can help.
We'll do, Ray. Thank you.
Miguel Berdallo from the guys over at the Guam Waterworks Authority, and that's the up-down. I'll talk to you soon. That's the up-down on a couple of big stories. Number one is that they are working, and they're going to be working through September on the construction of a big water tank that's over by the Nissan area, and it is going to require water to be cut in from the other side of the street. And so I thought this might just be affecting northbound traffic because there's a big bloody median down that side of the road. But as it turns out, no, we're going to be crossing under and through the median as well, and putting some pressure regulating devices in there because apparently the water pressure down in Tumon is up high. I had not noticed, never had the opportunity to shower up down there. Very close, very dear personal friend of mine. I got Angel Sablan from the government of Guam, the Mayor's Council of Guam on the line. Good morning, Mr. Mayor's Council dude.
Good morning, Ramon. How are you doing?
Director, right? Is something like, I don't know. All I know is you got this big honking pay raise. It's got everybody's knickers in a knot in the last week.
Yep.
Yep. Yep. What did can I let me just ask a question as frankly as I can. You know, all due respect and everything, but what is it that you do there that's worth $98,000 a year?
I do everything.
Oh, just everything.
I mean, that's a very simplistic answer, but I know Ken said I only have 6 people under me. Well, I have 6 people under me, and maybe he forgot that we took over the senior citizens, we took over the adult daycare and case management and in-home up to last week, but the only one that's left us is actually in-home. Those account for almost another 100 employees. And so we do all the payroll for all the mayor's offices. We do all their procurement and, follow all the administrative stuff.
You sound like a fourth branch of government here.
Well, actually, every time we go in for our budget hearing, we always say, well, we're neither here nor there, but we're here to submit our budget and to justify it.
Having answered that question, let's move on now to the what is it, the carnival. I appreciate you sending me a copy of the rules and regulations that you have proposed now to send to the. In fact, this is a copy of what's been sent now, as I understand it, to Senator Tina Rose Munoz Barnes, right?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay, so through the governor's legal counsel, if I'm understanding the conduit right, Mayor's Council of Guam and your people put together the rules and regulations, send them through the governor's office, then to the legislature.
Well, actually, it was through the Mayor's Council of Guam, a very active participation from the Director of Revenue and Taxation and her regulatory people. We had a representative from the AG there and a representative from our oversight chairman, Senator Pito. Chris Carrillo was there. So we were all, we had meetings together and had our input on our side of the Mayor's Council, input from the regulatory side from DRT, and all the while the legal counsel was there making sure that, whatever was required by the law was being addressed and put into the proposed rules and regulations.
Now, among the things that some people were concerned about was a kind of willy-nilly calendar that was being used and allowing for the carnival to be or the casino at the carnival to run through extended periods of time, to be involved in village fiestas, which were not necessarily part of the Liberation Day carnival festivities. General provisions among the very first things that is brought up in these rules and regulations require business license issued by the Department of Revenue and Tax only valid during the period of operation for the 2019 Guam Island Fair and Liberation Carnival. Licensees are only authorized to operate upon official 2019 Guam Island Fair and Liberation Day Carnival grounds. And then there's the other one that says that you can only, I want to say it requires it to be used. You must get a business license to operate from the Department of Revenue and Taxation. I don't see the part here where it's specific to dates and times. Wait a second. Under operations, it's there.
It's already in the law that says it's only 60 days from the opening of the carnival, up to 60 days and no more. And of course, the time of operation only operate during regular carnival hours, up to midnight on weekdays and to 2 in the morning on a Friday and a Saturday.
Okay.
holidays.
Now, the other question that has come up, and I'm still a little bit fuzzy on it, is what are we using to define the carnival grounds? Last week when we talked, it sounded like we'd be able to have the carnival here in the original location at the parking lot at the Paseo, and then maybe we'll have someplace else other than that area for the casino. And so that, or the House of Cards, if you will. But now is it my understanding that all of the Paseo is considered carnival grounds?
Well, that's my understanding to your understanding of the Mayor's Council, and I guess that will be defined in the governor's proclamation.
So she could proclaim, as an example, the area over by where the Statue of Liberty is, or an area near to where the paddlers keep their boats as carnival grounds?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay. All right. And so we just get a chance to wait and see on that. Now, you guys kind of got a head start on this. When do you anticipate the legislature now will have an opportunity to review all of these and get back with you with pass or fail?
Well, the clock, I guess, started ticking with the legislature because they only have up to 30 days to either review it, reject it, amend it, or whatever with rules and regs, and then come back and. If it's, I believe that there's a provision in there that if they do not act on it within those 30 days, that it would be deemed approved. So
right.
We'll see what happens.
Okay, and now how is your conversations with Daphne Shimizu going?
Great. Actually, she's she's been there at all the meetings, a very active participant.
Okay.
And she wanted to ensure that everything that at least on the DRT side and where the money changes, as I know that everything is transparent and is accountable, and that's all we've been asking for too, is to make sure that it happens that way.
Okay, so on the dollars and cents of this now, because there's another. You were quoted as saying that the mayor's council ought to be able to net about $100,000 from the House of Cards, but as I understand it, you've got up to two vendors can have a House of Cards license, and the minimum bid for those is $250,000 each.
Yes. And you've got to remember, Ray, those revenues from the bids themselves, because we don't get anything after that. The vendor, the nonprofit organization, whatever net proceeds they get, that's for them. And then the net proceeds we get after the bids come in, the carnival, of course, that goes to the charitable organization as defined by law.
Yeah.
But initially, what is paid for by those bids are, securing the entertainment, the fireworks,
So when you said $100,000, you meant that would be your net, not your gross.
That's correct.
Okay. All right. Understood. Just a note here, you got a clerical on big and small minimum bid. It says $20,000 each. I think you mean $2,000 for that, right?
No, it's $20,000.
Big and small is $20,000? Yes. I don't remember that game being that popular. Of course,
We've watched that game over the years, and it's actually has overgrown or outdone.
Wow.
As far as getting interested renters.
Wow. Okay. $20,000. I thought that was an error. Okay. Got my attention.
Beto used to be a very big revenue enticing bid.
Yeah, but it clearly moved over. Hey, I got to break away. I got the news coming up. I do appreciate your clarification and your very valuable time there, Miguel. I'll talk to you pretty soon. See you at Home Depot.
Just call me any other time. My pleasure.
You know it. Angel Santos, we're KUSG. I got you.
I'm Steve Rappaport, Fox News. U.S. officials say President Trump is meeting with his Homeland Security Director. There are reports Kirstjen Nielsen will offer to resign. This comes after the president threatened to close the southern border last week.
The president changed his tune on that a bit and walked that back. He said it wasn't necessarily because of the criticism. He, in fact, said that security was most important, more important than potential economic ramifications here. He said that he changed his tune on that a little bit because Mexico was doing more.
Fox's Ellison Barber at the White House. Attorney General Bill Barr heads to Capitol Hill this week for Justice Department budget hearings, but Democrats will likely press Barr on Special Counsel Mueller's Russia report.
You have members of both parties who are fighting for the full Mueller report to be released without any redactions, but it's for very different reasons. Democrats are largely looking for any dirt investigators turned up on President Trump, and many top Democrats believe the Attorney General may be trying to protect the president by taking out that damaging information from the report before it goes to Congress. On the other side, a number of Republicans believe the special counsel's investigation was politically motivated from the get-go, and they want the unredacted report to uncover how the probe began.
Fox's Garrett Tenney in Washington. The White House says Democrats will never see President Trump's tax returns.
House Ways and Means Committee member Dan Kildee, a Democrat, said on ABC's This Week there should be no delay on this.
No lawyer for the president should interfere or direct the IRS or the Treasury Department to ignore the law.
But on Fox News Sunday, Acting Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney says the returns don't matter to the American people.
Voters knew the president could have given his tax returns. They knew that he didn't, and they elected him anyway.
The president has said his taxes are under audit and cannot be released, even though the IRS says they still can.
Fox's Gernal Scott. This is Fox News.
Lent-friendly burgers at Chili's. Indulge in a selection of our famous burgers with a black bean patty. Black bean patties combine beans with onions, parsley, bell peppers, and cilantro. Served with dill pickles and fries. More Lenten entrees include the spicy shrimp tacos, Cajun pasta with shrimp, or grilled ancho salmon. Best of all, each entree is just $15 and comes with a refreshing Coca-Cola, iced tea, or Heineken on draft. Our fresh house salad with an entree for just $15. Chili's 3 for Me Lent menu. Available for a limited time. Chili's. More life happens here. Attention homeowners, if you don't have a solar energy system on your roof from Micronesia Renewable Energy, now is the time to get one. MRE solar energy systems now come with battery storage for zero money down. This means that your home will have power even when the island power isn't available, like during power outages or during and after storms. The inconvenience of not having power for your home is a thing of the past. Don't be left in the dark. Call 632-2613 for a free consultation. MRE, the smarter choice.
Security forces in Uganda rescuing an American tourist and her guide after they were kidnapped on Tuesday. Ugandan authorities saying the two are in good health, but did not say if a ransom was paid. The kidnappers who got away wanted $500,000. Gunfire erupting during a baby shower in Chicago.
2 kids and 4 adults were wounded when bullets started flying outside a home on the city's south side. The children, aged 8 and 10, are in critical but stable condition. One of the adults, a 29-year-old woman, is listed as critical. The shooting was carried out by 2 men dressed in dark clothing who approached the family gathering, started firing, and then fled on foot. Police believe the attack may have been a retaliatory act that stemmed from an ongoing gang war, but witnesses are reportedly not cooperating with investigators. Detectives are reviewing surveillance video from nearby, but have little physical evidence to go on. Karen McHugh, Fox News.
Gas prices rising 12 cents in the last 2 weeks. Industry analyst Trilby Lundberg tracks those prices nationwide.
In this panel of cities, Los Angeles is the high with an average $3.75. The low is Baton Rouge with $2.37. Somewhere around the middle is Long Island, $2.71. Chicago with $3.21.
AAA saying the average for a gallon of regular is $2.73. Burning rubber at Bristol.
54th career win for Kyle Busch. Kurt Busch second. Kyle Busch ties Lee Petty for 10th on NASCAR's all-time list.
The call on Fox Sports 1, Joey Logano finishing third, followed by Ryan Blaney and Denny Hamlin. An attack on a pro wrestler that wasn't part of the script. Bret the Hitman Hart tackled by a spectator while he was giving a speech at the WWE Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Hart continued his speech after the fan was taken into custody. I'm Steve Rappaport, and this is Fox News.
Are you waiting too long for a home loan decision? Are you looking for a bank that understands your needs and can close your loan quickly at today's super low rates? Then come no further than Bank Pacific. Our home loan specialists are friends and neighbors from your community, and our decisions are made right here in Hagåtña. Bank Pacific, where we're open to closing your loan in a hurry.
Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
Equal housing lender, credit conditions apply. Viva Bank Pacific.
The stations of Choice Broadcasting are celebrating April 2019 as National Earth Month with the return of our Upcycle Mascot Showdown. Join us on Saturday, April 20 at the Agagna Shopping Center from 3 to 5 p.m. and vote for the best mascot display. Second place wins $250 and first place wins $500. The 2019 Upcycle Mascot Showdown is brought to you by the Agagna Shopping Center, Lolita Kamet from Remax Diamond Realty, Underwater World, Sylvan Learning Center, Family Finance, Buddy's Home Furnishings, and Pitbull Empire.
Shrimp and guacamole for Lent at Subway. The all-new shrimp and guacamole combines generous portions of whole shrimp and a spread of guacamole served on freshly baked bread, paired with vegetables cut fresh daily in restaurants and sauces that are sure to excite your taste buds. Hurry in, it's only available for a limited time. Other fresh Lenten flavors include the classic tuna or the mouth-watering greatness of our seafood sensation. Don't forget the Veggie Max, a delicious and tasty vegetarian patty. Visit any of our convenient locations today. At Subway, you make it what you want.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. News time here at The Point is 7 minutes past 8 a.m. this Monday morning. I'm Kevin Kerrigan. Here's a look now at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. Businessman and former senatorial candidate Zedfrey Linsagin filed a lawsuit in district court Friday seeking a declaration that Guam's recreational and medicinal marijuana laws are null and void because they violate federal law. Linsagin, who is representing himself, wrote in his complaint that Governor Lulian Guerrero has violated her mandate duties under the Organic Act of Guam, which stipulate that the governor is responsible for the faithful execution of federal laws that extend to Guam. The lawsuit asks the court for an order declaring that the governor and the legislature have committed official misconduct. On Friday, Attorney General Levin Camacho said that he would defend the new recreational marijuana law against any legal challenges. Camacho said every law is presumed to be constitutional, and you'd have to prove otherwise. The AG's role, he said, would be to defend this law because we represent the government of Guam and we're prepared to defend the statute if it is challenged. The casino-style card games that are now authorized for the Liberation Carnival will be played on Carnival grounds after all. Following passage of Senator Jim Moylan's Bill 29 on March 30th, Mayor's Council of Guam Executive Director Angel Sablan said there will not be a casino building on the Carnival grounds, explaining that the mayors want to make sure there is a family-friendly environment at the Liberation Carnival. Whoever wins the Carnival gaming bid will be asked to rent space somewhere off the Carnival grounds, said Sablan. Governor Lulian Guerrero signed Senator Moylan's bill into law last Thursday, and the draft rules and regulations were submitted to the legislature Friday for approval. Those regulations propose allowing the casino-style card games like poker and blackjack to be played exclusively inside a card house on the casino grounds, while the more traditional games of chance like the color game and Beto Beto would be played throughout the Carnival grounds. Sablan explained that he got a call last week from Senator Moylan, who said that the intent of his bill was to have all the games held at the Carnival site. Moylan acknowledged that he did discuss that issue with Sablan, and he told him that all the games must be held on the Carnival grounds. We came to an understanding, said Senator Moylan. We'll have more news after this.
Docomo Pacific's all-new business bundles provide tailored solutions to help your business become a better business. Choose from our Business Basic, Essential, or Value bundles and get unlimited talk and text, worry-free data at home and abroad, plus access to the fastest online speeds in the Marianas. Add on mobile or broadband lines and save up to 20% for each line. Email businesssales@docomopacific.com to find out which bundle provides the best solution for your business. Terms and conditions apply.
Get a free Polar Pop any size when you fuel up on $35 or more of premium high-performance fuel. Conditions apply. See stores for details. Circle K. Take it easy. Get a free coffee any size when you fuel up on $35 or more of premium high-performance fuel. Conditions apply. See stores for details. Circle K. Take it easy. Get $5 off any Circle K car wash package when you purchase $35 or more of premium high-performance fuel. Conditions apply. See stores for details. Circle K. Take it easy.
10 minutes past 8 a.m. here at The Point. A financing plan to pay for a new trash cell at the Luzon landfill and cover the post-closure costs at the old ORDOT dump proposes borrowing up to $30 million by either issuing a bond or getting a construction loan from a bank. The plan was submitted Friday by Guam Assistant Attorney General Ken Orcott to Chief Judge Francis Tadinko Gatewood of the District Court. Tadinko Gatewood ordered submission of the plan for her review and approval before she decides whether to end the 11-year federal receivership over the island's solid waste collection and disposal services. If she approves the plan, she has said she'll terminate the receivership at the end of this month. The plan does not make any specific comment on whether the current $30 monthly trash collection fee will have to be raised to cover the cost of the borrowing. The plan will be the subject of a hearing Wednesday in district court. Port Authority of Guam's Board of Directors has approved a resolution calling on the governor and legislature to pass a bill authorizing bond funds to be reprogrammed to make urgently needed repairs to the aging and damaged F1 wharf. The F1 wharf is the primary offloading wharf at the port, used for most incoming cargo. At the April 5th board meeting, Port Authority General Manager Rory Respicio said there are structural issues. There's corrosion. The pilings need to be addressed, he said. An underwater assessment and inspection of the wharf done last July found severe concrete fracturing and spalled concrete with exposed rebar that is rusting, and the extent of corrosion has increased significantly since the previous inspection. Port Authority Board Chairman Frank Santos warned that if the Coast Guard condemns the F1 wharf, no vessel will be able to dock there, and it's going to cripple the island, he said. The board approved a resolution calling on the governor and lawmakers to introduce a new bill to permit the term of the current port bond to be restructured and allow some of the money to be reprogrammed to repair that wharf. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Ray and Mike now with some weather.
I should have been refreshing the weather screens and the satellite imagery, but frankly, I was looking at something on a website. A friend of mine sent me a picture of a little tiny marijuana sprout. Just a little booger coming out of the.
Looks very healthy.
It was
and
cute.
It's in a plastic pot.
It was cute. Is the thing. I mean, I'm thinking cartoon characters. I'm thinking little like stuffed animals that look like little marijuana things. I think the kids would go crazy for that, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Because it's about the kids.
What? Somebody will sell it and somebody will buy it. Mostly sunny today with a maybe on some light showers. I mean, it's a real thin maybe, too. East winds around 10 miles an hour. Expected highs today, 89 degrees. Overnight lows, 76 degrees. Let me just say, oh, my God, it's going to be hot today. That's the prediction. Not a whole lot by way of wind. Almost nothing by way of cloud cover. At least that's my interpretation of the radars.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty slim. There's no mention of a heat index, but the temperature is going to be around 90, and it's going to be very little wind, so you can it'll probably feel a lot hotter than the temperature says on the wall. Looking at the radar, we don't really have much going on there. I'm seeing basically the same kind of artifacts, and it looks like it's in the same places that it's been all morning long. Can't rule out the possibility that you may see a sprinkle or a drizzle here and there, but it'll be short-lived and it really won't amount to anything. And that's pretty much what we're expecting right on through the rest of this week, and the winds are going to die down as well. Actually, the winds we had this morning is probably what it's going to stick around, about 5 to 10 miles per hour, which makes it really, really hot. Looking at satellite here, just a few clouds around, and that may be what's showing up on radar. Maybe it's just seeing clouds and is nothing else to look at. So it says, oh, look, I see clouds. But you just have to see about that. But as we can see, kind of a clockwise rotation in the cloud structure, and that means high pressure building in, and that's what's going to keep it very dry for us all week long.
8:14, that's news and weather together here on The Point.
Okay, I think it's coming up soon.
Yeah, we're on Route 1 and near the airport intersection, right?
There, see it? What's the promo code? Look for the promo code.
Check out the Vantage Digital Billboard and reap the rewards. Catch the promo code on the screen and get $10 off your stroll ride by inputting the promo code on the Stroll Guam app.
Did you see it?
You got it. I got it. You just focus on driving.
Take advantage today and take a look at Vantage Advertising's digital billboard located on Route 1 at the airport intersection.
Portions of the Ray Gibson Show brought to you by Micronesia Renewable Energy. Never been a better time to go solar. Folks over at Guam Regional Medical City, they tell you what, first choice for your specialty care needs, and APL is shipping the future. Normally, I'd be riffing on Kings and their incredible Lenten package, but sister company Chuck E. Cheese, brother company Chuck E. Cheese, has got a big 5K coming up this weekend. A lot of people going to be running marathons, 5Ks, 10Ks, and half marathons on Sunday. You may want to participate, if you will, in a little bit of the goof-off that they're going to be having on Saturday. It's a 5K round GPO. Showtime going to be about 5, go time going to be about 6. For details, swing by Chuck E. Cheese, please.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they'll continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $3,600 by calling Family Finance in Agutya at 475-4545, Upper Tumon at 647-5626, or in Dededo, 633-4473. Family Finance, serving the people of Guam since 1959.
Got it. Portions of the Ray Gibson Show. I'm sorry, I was thinking about something funny that would get both of us in trouble, so I'm not going to say it. Blake Watson's in the studio. Portions of the program brought to you by my pals over at Security Title. If you're involved in some kind of complex real estate transaction, they've seen it all. They'll help you through all of the different processes that you need and keep it so that your spending is real light, even on the hard cases. Also brought to you by Take Care Insurance. Cars Plus, where they're gearing up for Smoking Wheels. Going to be a big racing weekend up at Calvin Memorial Park, and guys over at Cars Plus are going to be a big part of it. Get yourself all squared away in anticipation of it by visiting Cars Plus today, or you know what, they're going to have a booth up there this weekend, so make sure that you visit Jen and Joey and Dunge as well.
The Ray Gibson Show. Any speaker, anytime. Morning talk that matters.
What a weekend it was. What did you get away with? A lot of people out running at these sprints. What is it? The 90s theme thing on Saturday morning over at GPO. Very, very well attended, and happy to see a couple of my friends got not just placed but PRs. Considering that course has got a little bit of a challenge of it because it's like 60% uphill. So just saying. So there was that going on. I didn't actually run in the race. I ran near it. It was part of my 8-mile training run. And that was it. That was the last long one before the for the UGIM. I just got to just maintenance runs now. A couple of miles here, 3 miles there. Maybe do some strides. The object of the game is to get it out of my system and without risking injury too much.
That's always the name of the game too, especially this close, right? Because that would be terrible if something you tweet something or popped something, about less than a month out or a couple weeks out.
You don't have a lot of time to recover from something like that. So you got to be real careful in these last few days. Going to try to eat as clean as possible, and going to try to avoid.
Still beer, or do you cut that as a personal thing? Because I know some. No, keep it.
Have we met?
Well, I know some. For some people, they gotta take it completely out. To discipline themselves. Other people can have one or two. And
so
keep themselves at the limit.
He disciplines himself in an entirely different way.
Yeah, I saw that movie with the guy in the whip thing. Anyway, so you empty your storage cells, right? So you uncarb, you carb unload, and then it'll be Thursday, and then we're all going to Capriccio's, and then we're going to carb reload. And the idea, the idea is that you've got stores, good stores of easy to use and energy that will last 26.2 miles.
You take goo with you?
I take goo with me.
Take goo with you.
Yes, I'll have goo.
Do you have a running fanny pack, or do you just keep it in your pockets?
No, I got a fanny pack. It'll hold about 7 goos.
But it's for running, right? That's light.
What is goo?
It's goo. It's you take it while you're running. It gives you power.
You ever watch a RoboCop, right? And he stopped eating solid food, and they just gave him something. It's
energy sugar mix or something like that.
And caffeine. And caffeine.
Even Gatorade sells it.
The first goo that I have is going to have like 40 milligrams of caffeine in it, on top of everything else. I mean, that's to get me started. That will is part of the.
Sounds like it should be illegal.
It might just be, considering the
performance enhancing.
Not too many places where you can get your hands on it. So there's that, and my new favorite. I have yet to do any kind of research on it, other than I know which stores will sell it to me, and that is Onoromen C. I'm sure I'm saying it wrong. It's like little Japanese, Korean kind of. You pop the thing open.
The vitamin C drink.
Yeah, the vitamin C drink.
I love those little brown bottles.
Yeah, it tastes like Mountain Dew. And
it's very citrusy tasting.
Yeah,
I like it.
I start my day with that.
Oh yeah, that's just a good, nice little good supplement, right? Yeah, a little vitamin C supplement. I don't know. I like to think it keeps me healthy and keeps my immune system right.
I don't know what's in it. Look, but I never see unhealthy Koreans. Very early, so there must be something in there that works for them. 20 after 8 o'clock in the morning. Time for Sports with Blake. And to the uninitiated, that's my way of trying to keep my producer on his toes by jumping in quickly and just saying sports with Blake. You got some sun this weekend, bro.
I did. Well, you know, I was going to say there was a nice little sports tie-in, but recreational fun water sports. We were filming something for a sponsor over on Star.
Yeah.
Shout
you
out.
can say what it is.
Yeah, shout out to Tarza. We're located directly behind the Guam Plaza. So me and my buddy Ryan, the mixologist from the afternoon show over on Star, we kind of did a what I like to call the Survivor themed. It really wasn't Survivor themed, but we did kind of these 3 challenges at Tarza Water Park, and we filmed it for a nice commercial that is all going to be edited and all that. Out of the 3 events, it was one was a 3-tier water slide event. You got to go down the first water slide, grab a flag on your way down, drop it, and then go up to the next tiered water, to the second water slide. And then you slide down, and then you go up to the highest one, and you slide down there, and then you're timed. Fastest time wins. Second one was the bodyboard.
Cool.
That little bodyboard competition thing.
Right.
Where you have to ride the wave and kind of do that. We were terrible. Luckily, we got 3 runs, because the first one we just got washed out. It was very, very difficult, but a lot of fun. And the Korean tourists were cheering us on. We had a peanut gallery and everything. And then this one was my favorite one, also the one I won. The lazy river ride. So what we had to do is we got in on tubes, laid on our back. They handcuffed us together. They handcuffed our hands in front of us. So we each had our hands handcuffed, holding GoPros, and we could only use our feet on our tubes to paddle, and we had to race all the way around the lazy river through people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they didn't shut down the park for us or anything, so there's people everywhere, and it was a lot of fun. So that's why I'm red
It's like
today.
the Celebrity Olympics. We ought to expand on that a little bit more and bring in some other guys. Were you able to make it at least past Jollibee?
I was. Sunday, though, the line was still wrapped around the building. Sunday morning when I was headed to Tarza at about, 10:15 in the morning is when I had to show up.
That was still peak drive there, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I came back through in the afternoon right around like 2:30 or 3, and it was still not as long, but there were still people outside still waiting.
My turnaround for the training run was up around Jack in the Box, and so I walked up a little bit further and just saw that crowd and said, I think I'm going to wait. So, but now the history, and guys that have been here for a long time know, the history of Guam is that we get fast food of one kind or another, Burger King, a Wendy's, Jack in the Box, McDonald's. I remember when it was like this with KFC, and then there's this surge. There are people there, and it's going to be days and days and days before things quiet down enough so that that you're able to get in there and have it like a regular experience, a regular fast food. How long do you think it's going to be before that happens with Jollibee?
You know what? I think not long. I mean, don't get me wrong. But I don't think as long as the other ones. I think the novelty will wear off maybe quicker than most, only because it's the closest native fast food here. A lot of people go to Manila. Tons of people go there. And so they're used to it. And so I don't know, I don't know if like for instance.
So like everybody's going to get their first taste of whatever, the chicken joy and the spaghetti and stuff like that. And then they go, okay, it was just like home, and then go back about their business.
Yeah. And then, then they may, throughout the week or, maybe throughout the summer, I'll pop in. Because I still do that, like with the Jack in the Box tacos, because they're so good comfort food to me. I've been eating them my whole life. But the thing is, I live so far from Jack in the Box that I rarely ever get into the area. But if I do, I'll stop in for a couple.
I know exactly how you feel. 8:24 in the morning. Got any big high school stuff going on?
High school. The interesting thing that happened was, I don't know if you saw if you follow Talina Nelson on Instagram or any of her social media, the senator, but I was caught wind of this via her social media because I didn't know that there was going to be a first inaugural ever IIAAG High School Girls All-Star Game. The island's best talent from the High School Girls Softball League. It was held up at Ukadu Saturday evening, and the pitchers were Gecko Rocky Mesa, and she was the winning slugger. Red team beats the blue team 4-3, but I said all that to say that Therese Terlahi hit the ceremonious first pitch, and Talina Nelson threw out the first pitch.
I saw that. Was the speaker there?
I didn't see her on the. I don't know if she was there. I didn't see her on the post on the video on Senator Nelson's
Tina
page.
Rose played softball.
Right.
She's actually played the softball game, and she was good at it.
I think I want to say Talina has played as well. I want to say that she was maybe a pitcher, which is why she threw it out. But
don't know.
But it was pretty interesting to see, and like I said, a very big deal. This again. I don't know what's going to happen with IIAAG and DOE, but I do like seeing these things, and it makes me wary and afraid that if something were to happen, that all these things would go away, these things like the high school all-star games. But instant classic, like I said, it came down to the wire as GW's Rocky Mesa. She is a freshman, by the way. Grew up playing in the guys' league, in the boys' little league, and now she is a standout as a freshman, commanding that team. I got all that intel from our good buddy Brad Hewitt through the season as we talked. But she, 6th inning inside the park home run. That is enough. And it put her team over by 1, 4-3, the final.
Anybody got the numbers for JML?
Yeah. We had weekend action, of course. Friday night's game. Royals beat the Junior Nationals 13-6 in that game, and then we have Sunday action. 2 games there. 7-6, a close contest as the Expos beat the Rays, and then the nightcap game we had the 14-6. Was the score as the Redhawks beat the Rooks. Rooks now 0-3. They're getting off to a pretty shaky start. But the standings right now, Royals, Expos, and Junior Nationals, as well as the Redhawks, all 2-1. Rangers, Blue Jays, and Rangers and Blue Jays 1-1. Rays are 1-2. Rooks are winless at this time. And more game action later on this week.
4-way tie for first. Crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And then there was another big thing. If anybody still has this, which I doubt because it's been 40 years since this has happened, not since Magic and Bird. Michigan State and Indiana State 40 years ago has 2 teams who have never made it to the National Championship Basketball NCAA men's game. Made it. So Virginia taking on Texas Tech. Neither team has ever made it this far in the tournament, and we will have a first ever.
They haven't played the Final Four yet?
No, well, they played the Final Four of the weekend. Now we're on to the final. So now the championship game. And that will tip off tomorrow, local time, CBS, 11:30 a.m. tomorrow. But it's going to be, like I said, Virginia. They've never made it this far. Texas Tech has never made it this far in either school history. So should be a very interesting game. And I like to see things shaken up. So no blue bloods in there is pretty all right with me. No Duke, no Kansas.
Yeah,
no
that's
Kentucky.
why I stopped watching, because it's like the same darn teams keep winning over and over again. So it's really nice to see 2 teams who have never been there before in there, and not to be a homer, but I like Texas Tech.
Get your guns up. Get your guns up. The Red Raiders. Go Red Raiders.
It's the same argument you guys make when the Patriots are in the football game again. It's the same games. It's the Patriots and somebody else that has been there 18 times before.
Oh, we're going to have the argument, too, when it comes to the NBA Finals here in about a month, when it's Golden State versus whoever.
I don't know, man. Milwaukee is a dangerous
But they're in the
team.
East, so
Give it to Kobe.
But
Give it to Kobe.
Kobe's sitting on his couch just waiting for LeBron to retire so he can be a Lakers fan again.
I like that. Carl Pangolin, Carl with a K, is online this morning. And his poison is golf. You got anything in golf?
You know what? I do, and I may surprise some people because there was a heck of a golf playoff over the weekend. I don't know if anybody saw this, but to go really deep into sports, the Augusta National Women's Amateur Tournament played on over the weekend. Maria Sassi, who is a standout. She's from Mexico. Fassi. She's from Mexico. She led pretty much most of the tournament. She is a standout from Arkansas, I believe, is where she goes to college. Well, there was another lady. Let's see here. Kupcho, I believe. Kupcho was her name. And she, through the Sunday round, right, she had to stop for a migraine. And she didn't stop for the migraine. She said she has a history of it, and she's had to play with it before. But the reason she had to stop for a second was because it messed up her vision. She couldn't see the ball. Yeah. So, she could play through the headache. But she had to stop so she could see. And then once she regained her sight, she came from behind. And with a heck of a shots. I mean, I think she ended up with like eagle or birdie on the final hole, and she didn't even really need to make the putt for birdie or for eagle, but she did. And Jennifer Kupcho makes history as the winner of the first ever Augusta National Women's Tournament, rounded out by Maria Fassi, and then Yuko Sasso, who is a Filipino teenager standout golfer. She's like 17. She came in third. So there you go, Carl, with a K. I surprised you with that.
Yeah, somebody knew something about, and I did not prep him on that. I just saw you, and I thought maybe there might be some golf stuff in there. Hey, listen, 8:30 in the morning, and and I got breaking news from CNBC. This may have an effect on us here on Guam, and if you keep your fingers crossed, maybe a welcome impact on what happens with Homeland Security and being able to get some H-2B visas done. According to the White House, Homeland Security Secretary Christian Nielsen is leaving the administration. She is out as Secretary of Homeland Security. Trump said Kevin McAleenan, the current Customs and Border Protection Commissioner, will serve as acting Homeland Security Secretary. A White House aide told CNBC that Nielsen's departure was unexpected, despite months of speculation about whether she would be fired or quit. What will this mean for Guam? I don't know, but I think I might know who to ask. I'll see if I can ring this guy up in a couple of minutes. It's 8:31. That's all the time that we got to pretend to talk about sports. Blake Watson's going to go finish the morning show over on Star 101. Kevin with news in a moment.
The GCC Votech Class of 79 is back. Join him on April 27th at the Onward Beach Hotel for a night of dinner, dancing, skits, and reminiscing. It's been 40 years since graduation, so take advantage of this once-in-a-lifetime chance to relive the memories. There's also a memorial mass on Friday, the 26th, at the Santa Teresita Church. Be there at 5:30 for candle placement in honor of classmates who've gone before. Tickets for the reunion on the 27th are on sale for $40 a person. For details, find Connie Kittigwa St. Nicholas at 488-6108 or Kathy Diaz, 777-3243. Viva 79ers!
Join us Saturday, April 13th for the 5th annual Chucky Run and Fun 2K, 5K, and Flyaway giveaway. Showtime at 5:30 and go time at 6 a.m. T-shirts, medals, and other cool prizes, including the grand prize trip for two to Manila. Register at Hornet Sporting Goods or Chuck E. Cheese's Guam. $8 for students, $12 for adults, and Group of 4 Super Saver for just $40. The 5th annual Chucky Run and Fun 2K, 5K, and Flyaway giveaway. We'll see you there.
It's early in the process. Things are kind of slim. Christian Nielsen left her role as Homeland Security Secretary as President Donald Trump has increased his focus on the nation's border with Mexico in recent weeks. He said on Sunday that she is leaving her position and thanked Nielsen for her service. He said Kevin McAleenan, the current Customs and Border Protection Commissioner, will serve as acting Homeland Security Secretary. His focus on Mexico's border has become more intense in recent weeks. The president had threatened to shut down large portions of the southern border if Mexico did not stem the flow of migrants and drugs. He later backed down from the threat, giving Mexico a year to meet his demands or face car tariffs or border closure down in that area. And Nielsen, the protege of former White House Chief of Staff John Kelly, who stepped down in frustration over his inability to bring discipline to Trump's chaotic administration. Okay, so we're getting into CNBC editorializing. All right, got it. That must mean the story is over. 8:33 and time for other big stories from the Guam Daily Post. Here's Kevin Kerrigan.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. In the headlines from the Guam Daily Post this morning, a Department of Corrections policy asking employees to take compensatory time in lieu of overtime pay is drawing some criticism from the local teachers union. GFT Field Representative Robert Koss says DOC's position is disingenuous because DOC is operating at 50% of its staffing needs and they're unlikely to grant any employee leave when they ask for it. DOC Acting Director Samantha Brennan said she had not seen a union memorandum opposing the new policy. As of April, however, overtime is now capped at the Department of Corrections. Any overtime accrued beyond the cap, she said, will be deemed as reflecting to earn compensatory time off in lieu of paid overtime. She said the policy is needed in light of limited resources and will remain in effect until financial resources become available. Guam Memorial Hospital Authority's skilled nursing unit, located in Barragata Heights, will not lose its Medicare certification. GMH Administrator Lillian Perez Posadas confirming that GMH has said that the nursing unit will retain its Medicare certification. She said, however, that the hospital is still waiting on a decision from the federal agency about its Medicare certification. GMH submitted a corrective action plan to address two issues cited by CMS in January. Those issues are quality assessment and performance improvement, as well as anesthesia services. The corrective action plan was sent to CMS on March 29th. If they accept it, CMS will send another survey team to confirm implementation. GMH risks losing more than $20 million annually in Medicare reimbursements if it fails to meet CMS standards. A chlorinating product used to kill bacteria and contain algae growth in swimming pools was used to sanitize a 500,000-gallon drinking water tank at Anderson Air Force Base. The tank provides drinking water to base facilities at Northwest Field. The 36-wing Public Affairs Office confirmed that chlorine tablets sold under the pool time label were used. The label states that the product is toxic. A public notice was sent on January 15th to service members who may have been exposed to the drinking water. The Guam Environmental Protection Agency did issue a notice of violation to Anderson for using the product to clean a drinking water tank, and the Air Force Base was fined. However, the amount of the fine was not disclosed. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
8:36, that's iConnect time. Go buy an iConnect today and learn about the great plans that they've got. They do internet, they do mobile phone plans, and one of the most unique things, in fact, they're the only ones that do this, is push-to-talk. Yeah, you remember that from the 90s and the 2000s? It's back. Imagine that kind of cool two-way radio technology with today's smartphones. That's what they're offering right now at iConnect.
Help celebrate Earth Month with 93.3 The Point and the return of the Upcycled Mascot Showdown. Stay tuned for details on the upcoming live event and how you can support your favorite school. The Upcycled Mascot Showdown, brought to you by Lolita Kamet from Remax Diamond Realty, the Agana Shopping Center, Sylvan Learning Center, PBS Guam, and 93.3 The Point.
The Extra Point with Jerry Roberts of Guam Training.
Hi, I'm Jerry Roberts, and every day on The Ray Gibson Show, I get to comment on the incredibly diverse, fun, challenging, sometimes frustrating, often exciting, but always interesting world of work. I hope you'll be there with us.
You can find daily transcripts of The Extra Point at guamtraining.com. Tune in every weekday morning at 7:20 for The Extra Point with Jerry Roberts. Brought to you by Guahan Insurance Services and First Hawaiian Bank on 93.3 The Point.
Let's see what the traffic gizmo is telling me now. Southbound traffic, Marine Corps Drive, not terrible until you get to 1 and 3. And then you'll meet up with traffic that is northbound on 1 and 3 that is also moving a little bit slower. Traffic building at those intersections, 8, 10, and 16. Still non-green, but non-red. That's one of the other things. It's just a lot of cars there for this time of the morning. 10 and 15, a little bit busy through there. Most of Route 4 is, once you get past Tukta and then to the intersection in Pago, you're going to be all right. There might be a little bit of a slowdown around the Ordot area just before you get to Sinanya, but you'll survive it. We won't die. It's all right. What else do we got? Southbound Marine Corps Drive. Nothing in front of Navy Hospital. Nothing in front of Big Navy. We are out of the traffic nightmare this morning, and that's good news. It's 8:38. Right now, traffic is on the point.
Here at APL, our core values give the company its heart and soul. Whether it's connecting your business with our global network through our newly enhanced service or investing our efforts into giving back to the community, APL is committed to serving you. We humbly honor the opportunity to find innovative solutions for you and your business. To learn more about our enhanced service, call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com/Guam for more details.
Well, that's interesting. We'll just add that to the pile of interesting stuff that comes to you on a Monday morning. I've had nothing to do all weekend long but to ponder and to observe. And so I've got a couple of interesting observations I'll share with you. One of them is, should I put my earthquake shutters up? Is that, I probably should, right? I mean, we had, early Sunday morning, I guess. There was one that a couple of guys said felt like a 5. Ken said it woke the dogs up. And prior to that, I want to say that we had a bunch of these little sub-5s, little tiny shakers. I never felt, in fact, I have not felt any of them. And that's not me challenging God. I'm just saying I've not felt any of them. And the rule is, if Ray Gibson didn't feel it, then it didn't happen. 20 away from 9 o'clock in the morning, and curious as to what the impact is going to be with the news being reported out of CNBC this morning. Kirstjen Nielsen out as Homeland Security Chief. Trump is pushing for tougher border policy and didn't think she was doing enough to secure the borders. Said so in front of the cabinet and probably put some red on her face. And so it looks like she might have quit that job. What's his name? McAleenan is going to be the next guy, at least temporarily. Now, the fellow I got on the phone, Juan Carlos Benitez, one of my favorite, Washington kind of operatives and observers, might have a thing or two to say about this interesting transition. Good morning, Juan Carlos.
Good morning, and good half a day for you too.
Yeah, well, it's been an interesting day, been an interesting news day already with this news here about Christian Nielsen. Didn't Luli Unguro make a big deal about meeting up with her just a couple of weeks ago?
If you remember correctly.
I do. I think it was on one of the trips, one of a couple of trips that she took out to Washington, D.C. And we've got, as you know, some H-2B visa woes, and we're looking for help from at the very top of the administration to be able to handle those kinds of things and make it so that we might be exempted from this no Filipino H-2B deal and maybe wider exemptions on H-2Bs for Guam construction, period.
Yeah.
So what do you think is going to happen now? I mean, do we need to send Lou back to go meet this new guy?
Oh, I think everybody should go and meet the acting secretary as we move forward. But most of the decisions of what we're looking at are made at the USCIS level, which is an assistant secretary level, and that hasn't changed. Trump's announced that the secretary was looking at the party, I think 2 days ago, via tweet.
Yeah.
And we're just sort of getting the official confirmations of her departure. He mentioned that she's leaving in good terms with the president,
I guess.
And it looks to me more of a position of who's going to replace her. And what we need to look is that the administration is getting tougher on border security and undocumented aliens inside the United States and enforcement in that arena. That doesn't directly affect what we're working on, but I do see that the trend of a hard look at the H2 process to continue. Yeah.
All right. Wondering to see if there's if he's got any kind of connections to Guam that we might be able to exploit or otherwise use to make contact. Now, how would something like this? I mean, what's your recommendation here? Do we reach out to Kevin McAleenan now, or do we wait until Trump designates a more permanent replacement?
I would congratulate him on his appointment, and quickly request a meeting to try to brief him on the situation of special situation of Guam and other Mariana Islands with regards to immigration and Department of Homeland Security. This is more of a concern to Northern Mariana Islands because the advanced parole process for the Chinese and the Russians, that's a decision of the Secretary of Homeland Security.
Oh.
So a change in the Secretary, you could have a different point of view or opinion by the new Secretary.
But that I'm aware of, we haven't had any problems with. I mean, there's some labor issues, obviously, but do we have any overstay problems? Do we have any problems with the Chinese or the Russians? Flying into the CNMI and then disappearing into the boonies?
No, none that I'm aware of. I think that program's running very well. But it is at the discretion of the Secretary. So that's why I mentioned it. If you get somebody that's zealot, then he might change the decision. If you get somebody that's someone that understands the economic impact of foreign visitors in territories of the Pacific, he might be more open to continuing or extending the program.
Right. So somebody's going to need to spend a little bit of time and doing some some biographical background on this guy McAleenan to find out what his position might be. Clearly, he wants to take a harder stance on securing the southern borders of the United States. But what does that mean for the territories and everybody out here in the fringes of democracy?
Yeah. Well, here's something that is very good for Guam and other Mariana Islands, and it's today the Republican Party of Guam is announcing that the chairman of the RNC, Ronna McDaniel, is going to be coming to Guam and the Northern Mariana Islands on April 15 and 16 and I think that we'll have opportunities available for the community to express what are our issues and concerns, so she can take those back to President Trump.
Right. Well, and among the two that we're just talking about now is it tourism and the H-2B crisis that we currently find ourselves under.
Yes, and I can guarantee you she has the ear of the president and will be able to, after seeing our reality and talking to our folks here in the island, bring back that to the president and to the new secretary.
Right. Okay, well, I look forward to meeting her, and of course, I've got space in the studio for her and others to come in and talk a little bit more about the agenda, what they're going to be doing, what you're going to be doing to treat her to some half-a-day hospitality when she gets here.
Well, if you're open to it, we would love to come visit you at the station and have her have an opportunity to talk to the people of Guam.
Absolutely, yes, yeah. Because I you know what, I want to get her thoughts. A couple of them. Number one is now, does the Republican Party really have to stand anybody up to run against Trump and Pence in 2022? And the other one is. 2020. And the other question is, isn't it fun to watch what the hard left of the Democrat Party is doing to the middle and right sections of the party? It looks like you get these new breed of hard progressives that are just trying to eat the old school, starting with Biden.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's the answer to that second one is absolutely yes.
Yeah, how entertaining has that been to just watch it? And Pelosi looks like she's riding a tiger out there and doesn't seem to be able to control these new young voices.
Yeah, EOC is having fun with her.
Yeah, well, I'm sure of it. But the problem is, for the Democratic Party, is how is that going to change the voice of the party? If all you're hearing from is AOC and a couple of the other harebrains out there, does that make the Democrat Party less palatable to Joe Sixpack and his wife, who still vote Democrat?
Yeah. I think it really makes a big contrast between Trump and the way he is, where he's taking the nation, versus the position that I would say most, if not all, of the candidates that have announced on the Democratic Party are looking to take us to. And I'm not sure that I am personally convinced that Trump will win re-election based on the present candidates that the Democratic Party has out there.
Well, you get all these people that are running around spouting socialist ideas that forget that in other parts of the world they're looking at actual socialism, like in Venezuela, and look at the cesspool that's turned into.
Yeah, and in fact, I think 3 of the candidates were touting the Venezuela government as a form of effective socialism.
It's a dictatorship.
Yeah, and so now they all pulled it out of their webpage. So it's sort of interesting because the not so liberal Democrats are saying, "Wait a second! 3 months ago, Bernie, you were touting this guy," and Bernie's just saying, "Well, I changed my mind."
Yeah. And I don't know that he's a real socialist anyway. I think he's one of those dyed-in-the-wool guys that, he'll open a checking account anywhere. 8:40 in the morning. Juan, it's always a delight talking with you, and appreciate any of the comments that you can send about McAleenan and maybe some other tactical advice for the administration here. You're right. I think congratulatory messages need to go out right away from the governor, our representative in Washington, D.C., and the governor's office in Washington, D.C.
Yeah. I absolutely agree. And Ray, on the 16th at 7 to 9 p.m., we're going to have the chairman of the RNC over at the Pacific Star. It's a free event. Please let people know they want to come and meet the chairman of the Republican Party of the United States and tell her what life is in Guam. You're all welcome.
Send me more of the agenda. I'll be happy to help market that for you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Oh, no, thank you. I appreciate your time and your thoughts. 10 away from the top of the hour, 888-825-5888-TALK. Got my very close friend, personal fan, the other Governor Leon Guerrero, Ken Leon Guerrero. Good morning, Light.
Good morning. I was listening with bated breath, waiting to hear how Angel Sublime is going to justify getting paid $10,000 more than the governor.
He says he got a lot to do there. He's busy. He's got a lot of employees to oversee, a lot of projects to take care of.
Yeah, and I've got a bridge in San Francisco I will sell you for $1.
Dollar? For my bridge, my Frisco bridge?
Well, I mean, based on what he said, what we should do is we should terminate all the mayors, and then we can save about $3 million there to help offset his salary. And then we can terminate all the managers of the senior centers and use that to help offset the center, because after all, he does everything. If he does everything, then what do we need to have all these senior centers with the mayors, the vice mayors, and all the staff? I mean, let's look at Reverend Tax.
Yeah.
Angel Sablon makes $2,023 less than the person that's running a 300-person department that generates $500 million a year for government at Guam.
But if we don't make him happy, if we don't assuage his concerns about his salary, he'll go work for another mayor's council. Don't we have to worry about losing a valuable key player?
Well, I'm sure that they would welcome him with open arms over in Saipan. You know, but I mean, what this is doing, the law of unintended consequences is starting to play here, because now I'm getting calls from people and having conversations with people that are upset that they haven't got their 23 cents an hour increment, but he can get a $22,000 a year pay raise.
Well, it's going to happen if we keep saying it's going to happen. So I don't have a problem with that. Although I will say I talked to a ranking member of the administration over the weekend and said if we've got money for pay raises, I want my 1% back. I want my 1% from the BPT back. And he says, no, Ray, it's not going to happen. It's never going to happen. Don't anticipate unless there's some kind of referendum, unless there's a voter initiative. Do not anticipate that the government of Guam is ever, ever, ever going to give that money back.
Yep. And in the meantime, we just passed a law giving the staff at the Guam Election Commission pay raises to make their salaries more competitive with the private market. We're getting
what private market? There's no analog for the privait market. What is it, Secretary?
That's the justification. If they don't give those people at the Election Commission a pay raise, they're going to leave and go work for Choice Broadcasting.
No, wait a second. Are these what is it? How do I want to say this? Now, are these raises, are the conversation provided for under a Hay study or something like that, where we've taken some kind of an opportunity to research what people in the private sector are making?
They were included in a bill to grant an additional appropriation of $248,000 to the mayors, to the Guam Election Commission to pay for their expenses, and on top of that, they added a provision to raise the salaries of the staff in that bill. And then
why does that sound? That just sounds bad. It sounds bad, especially for the conversation leading to increases in pay for people at the Election Commission by virtue of what they do there. That could be perhaps seen as peddling some kind of influence.
It could be, but then I listened to your conversation with Berdalio this morning, and I was at a PUC meeting way back, I can't remember, 16 or 17, the last water rate increase. And the primary justification for that increase was to make the positions at Guam Water, the administrative positions at Guam Water Authority, more competitive with comparable positions in the private market. Now, I'm looking around Guam Water Authority. I don't see an empty desk anywhere. There are not people leaving Guam Water Authority to go work at Denny's or at the Hilton, you know. So when I hear another rate increase, I'm wondering how much of that rate increase, and I can't wait till they put the.
You said it'll have it on. You said it'll have it online soon.
Yeah, so I'm going to be looking forward to that as well. But going back to the Mayor's Council of Guam.
I think the first thing to do would be somebody needs to press the other Governor Leon Guerrero and suggest there needs to be some kind of a moratorium until we can take a look. If the justification is to provide additional revenues to the good hardworking employees of the government of Guam, to prevent them from jumping into the private sector, somebody needs to go and find out what the private sector numbers look like. Because from my vantage, from my perch, pay on the private side sucks in comparison to what people on the public side make.
Well, when you look at Angel Sablon's responsibilities, he supports the mayors, right? So he's basically their secretary. Do you pay your secretary $99,000 a year?
I don't have a secretary. You get a letter from me. You see down at the bottom, it's RG:BMS, by myself.
Well, you see, that's the difference, because here we're looking at rewarding all the people that supported the various campaigns. And I'm just wondering how much of this is a reward for the hard work performed. Because, I mean, a $22,000.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Didn't Angel was on the air? Didn't he say that he was backing Carl?
I didn't hear him say that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I thought it was Angel that came out was backing Carl. I want to say that, and there were a number of other mayors that were there. It wouldn't surprise me. We'd have to look in the archive somewhere, but it seems to me that he was pretty clear throwing his support behind Uncle Carl.
Yeah, and where's Uncle Carl now?
He is the chief advisor for
economic
development and international and national affairs.
Well, does Angel Sablon's salary fall under international affairs? Just speculating here.
Yeah, you're reaching.
Well, the whole point is that here we have vendors who aren't getting paid. We have, and many of them probably have contracts with the Mayor's Council, you know. And here we have a executive director of the Mayor's Council who has no 24/7 function, yet he has a 24/7 vehicle and a gas card to match. I'm trying to imagine what village emergency we have that demands that the secretary to the mayor's comes down to supervise the removal of a dog carcass.
Yeah. Well, it is what it is, and you can complain about it all you want, and when you're done complaining, you'll just be out of breath. So here's the long and short of it, Ken, is once again we have been bamboozled. The voters have been bamboozled. We voted for different people. We voted for change, but the government of Guam still managed to get in and still kind of manages to run under its own rules. It would have been nice if maybe there was somebody with a little bit more of a Trump effect that could come in and start scaring the deep state that exists here.
Yeah. And I hope that we see that in this coming 2020. That's why I'm going to work so hard to get the primary elections eliminated so that we can widen the pool and go for part-time senators, because so many qualified people would be willing to be a part-time senator, but they can't walk away from their businesses or their careers full-time.
Dude, I'd go in there, and I've already explained my platform more than once, and one of these days maybe I'll push the button and bring my sister in as a treasurer, and we're just, I'm going to go around, and they're going to say, what's your platform? I'm saying no to everything. I will say no to everything. and I will be the and hope to come in as part of a majority party so I can get a real majority party leadership role. So not only can I say no to everything, if you come in and you throw out one of those bills that's a solution out looking for a problem, I'll say, you know what, I'll support it, but you got to show me two other spend laws that we're going to repeal, and unless you can do that, forget about it. The answer is no.
The only time, you look back.
I could do that as governor, right?
President.
I should do that as governor. Just veto everything that comes through.
Yeah, line items, go right through it.
Well, I just veto everything.
When the new Democrats got in and they passed all those things that you can't introduce any new spending unless you eliminate spending somewhere else.
Yeah.
And we ran positive budgets for like 8 years.
It really is that simple, I think. It's like dieting. You just got to, expend more calories than you take in. 9 o'clock in the morning, Ken, I got to run. I'll talk to you pretty soon.
All right.
Stay out of trouble. Talk to you. 888-8255-888-TALK, the radio station. Call signs KUSG, Kilo Uniform Sierra Golf. That's us. I got you. Coming up, Fox News Live on the other side of that. I riff for an entire hour. You won't want to miss it.
This is a Fox News alert. I'm Steve Rappaport. Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen has resigned.
There have long been questions, long been rumors about how long she would stay in her role as Secretary of Homeland Security. In May of 2018, President Trump reportedly screamed at Secretary Nielsen and berated her, singled her out during a cabinet meeting, frustrated reportedly over what he felt like was a bit of a lackluster performance in terms of securing the U.S.-Mexico border.
Fox's Ellison Barber at the White House. Nielsen's departure coming after the president went back and forth on a threat to close the southern border. Fox's Casey Stiegel is at a crossing in El Paso.
According to the CBP officials, just as of last week, more than 70,000 apprehensions have been made so far in this sector alone in fiscal year 2019. 70,000, and that is compared to 9,000 apprehensions for the same period of time last year.
The president on Twitter naming Customs and Border Protection Commissioner Kevin McAlealan as acting DHS secretary. A budget hearing for the Justice Department will likely stray toward a different topic when Attorney General Bill Barr testifies before Congress Tuesday.
Appropriations hearings this week may deal more on Mueller than money, as some in Congress say Democrats may use the opportunity to push Attorney General Barr's release of the Mueller report. On Fox's Sunday Morning Futures, GOP Representative Mike Johnson described House Democrats as
really on a tear. They really want to dig into Attorney General Barr, and they're not giving him, I think, the respect that is due.
Johnson says the report should be released, but done so within the law, and says the Attorney General is doing that. Democrats say they want a report released with minimal redactions as soon as possible.
Fox's Gernal Scott, the president saying the report completely exonerates him, but Mueller did not conclude whether the president obstructed justice. This is Fox News.
Join us Saturday, April 13th for the 5th annual Chucky Run and Fun 2K, 5K, and Flyaway giveaway. Showtime at 5:30 and go time at 6 a.m. T-shirts, medals, and other cool prizes, including the grand prize trip for two to Manila. Register at Hornet Sporting Goods or Chuck E. Cheese's Guam. $8 for students, $12 for adults, and Group of 4 Super Saver for just $40. The 5th annual Chucky Run and Fun 2K, 5K, and Flyaway giveaway. We'll see you there.
It's important to have claims process that works for you. At Guahan Insurance Services, we make things simple and convenient. Same door you walk in to purchase your insurance is the same door you open to file your claim. We can't pretend that the car insurance claims process is fun, but we can promise a hassle-free and speedy recovery without any runarounds. For your home, auto, and business insurance, visit us at the Camacho Landmark Center on Marine Corps Drive in Tamuning. Don't forget to like us on Facebook or give us a call at 475-1162 or text 929-SAVE. That's 929-7283.
Recapping our top story, Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen has resigned. President Trump tweeting Customs and Border Protection Commissioner Kevin McAlealan will take over as acting DHS secretary. Another price hike at the gas pumps.
This has been a 47-cent jump in the price at the pump over 3 months, and in these 2 weeks alone, it has been a 12-cent hike. Most of this has been from crude oil, but in the past month, gasoline market reasons have added to the price jumps.
Industry analyst Trilby Lundberg, AAA, saying the average for a gallon of regular is $2.73. The U.S. temporarily withdrawing some forces from Libya following clashes between a Libyan commander's forces and rival militias. The head of U.S. Africa Command saying the security realities on the ground are growing increasingly complex and unpredictable. Boeing cutting production of its popular 737 jets.
The latest decision comes after a preliminary report on the Ethiopian Airlines tragedy was released. Findings show the pilots repeatedly performed all of the aircraft manufacturer's procedures, but failed to control the jet before it crashed. The plane going down March 10th, killing all 157 people on board. The first U.S. lawsuit related to the crash filed in federal court in Chicago. Boeing CEO Dennis Muilenburg issued an apology Thursday following the report's release, emphasizing the company's ongoing work to fix the plane's anti-stall system, known as MCAS, which is suspected of playing a major role in the crash.
Fox's Jeff Paul. Another superhero has a super performance at the box office.
Say my name so my powers will become yours. Shazam.
Wait, for real?
Say, okay?
Shazam grossing an estimated $53.5 million in its debut weekend. I'm Steve Rappaport, and this is Fox News.
Security Title is honored to join in sponsoring Ray Gibson on The Point. Half a day. I'm Rita Tidegui of Manila, and this is where I start my day, listening to the voices of our community and sharing thoughts about issues that affect all of us. It all boils down to our people and our land. Ingatan ang iyong tahanan, protect your home. When purchasing or refinancing your home, remember to call the professionals at Security Title, just like you call Ray Gibson in the morning.
Portions of the Ray Gibson Show. Let me see. Brought to you by American President Line, shipping the future. Micronesia Renewable Energy. There's never been a better time to go solar. The guys over at King's Restaurant or Chuck E. Cheese, because Chuck E. Cheese has got this big 5K that's coming up, and you're going, wait a second, you're talking about the UGM, right? I said, no. You can run a 5K on Saturday over at Chuck E. Cheese and then run the 5K in the UGM the very, very next day. In fact, you know, for some of you, that might be good training and a great way to break into a couple of successions in your training for the next big UGIM. You want details, find Chuck E. Cheese.
Docomo Pacific's all-new business bundles provide tailored solutions to help your business become a better business. Choose from our Business Basic, Essential, or Value bundles and get unlimited talk and text, worry-free data at home and abroad, plus access to the fastest online speeds in the Marianas. Add on mobile or broadband lines and save up to 20% for each line. Email businesssales@docomopacific.com to find out which bundle provides the best solution for your business. Terms and conditions apply.
Yes, portions of the program also brought to you by my friends over at, where are these guys? GRMC, the first choice for all of your specialty care needs. And Cars Plus, Jan and Joey and Dungeon, they're getting all ready for Smokin' Wheels. Going to be up at the Calvo Raceway Park this weekend. Cars Plus, a big part of it. They want you to be a big part of it as well. And if you don't have a whole lot by way of money in your pocket these days, and who does? Who has spare dough laying around? You know how you make more spare dough is you try not to spend as much of it. So you're going to get hungry later on, and you're going to say, you know what, I'd like a spicy chicken sandwich, like a regular chicken sandwich. And they've got very, very good ones over at Wendy's. And this is the best part. Just cause the people over at Wendy's, it's $2 per now. So you can get what I consider to be the best spicy fried chicken on the island for just $2 at Wendy's right now.
It's the Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Tell you, 7 after 9, and welcome back to the Ray Gibson Show. I would be the Ray Gibson. Michael Knight in studio with me. Kevin Kerrigan's gone off to do his real life job, and then Blake Watson, he takes care of sports and all of that. He's over on Star 101 finishing things out over there. In the meantime, it's just you and I. Just you and I, another 2 minutes or something like that between now and the next Fox Live newscast. And what do we get to talk about? In what I've traditionally referred to as the small talk portion of the program. And I don't know if it's small talk. I don't know if it's I want to say that this maybe a little bit about what we're going to be talking about here will echo a little bit about conversations that are taking place across the island. And you might be going, oh, he's going to jump into marijuana again, right? And, good on you. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Because it seems to be it's an easy conversation to get into, isn't it? Certainly easier now than it was not that long ago.
Well, and quite frankly, it compels a lot of passion on either side of the argument. I mean, you see it going back and forth on Facebook, and people are just, they're just crazy about it one way or the other.
Oh, well, yeah, you get the Killjoys and the editorial board over at the Post, and they've been writing up on it. And, at some point we go, okay, how did Barack Obama say? The science is settled. The law is settled now. And said Freeland Sangen wrote out in his own typewriter, his own word processor, swore out a complaint against Lulian Guerrero and, quote, the entire government of Guam. But one of the things that he's going to have to do, and they did, they did this with Margaret Bengzon when she took her case and wanted to get reinstated because she was concerned that the board was going to ruin everything over at Guam Regional Medical City, and there's a place was going to go down the tubes in the bit. And the thing is when you make that allegation, You have to prove it. And I wonder if it works the same way in district court. So Sedfrey says, this is his claim for relief. The illegal acts by the defendants will destroy families, children, economy, businesses in the island of Guam. It will put more financial pressure on medical systems and public coffers to treat those who will be addicted and eventually try stronger drugs. So this is, it seems to me, and he might have standing as a citizen, but if that is the claim that he is making, then doesn't he have to prove that in court?
Well, none of those things technically are illegal.
Well, it's not that they're illegal. It's just that they are going. He makes it sound like it is a fait accompli. It's going to happen. If we do this, families will be destroyed. And so my response, if I was going to be the lady over at the court, would be, prove it. How is this going to destroy families? Well, what evidence do you have that any families on Guam have ever been destroyed as a result of having cannabis around?
Right, and to go back to my point, that he has to prove that it breaks the law somehow for all of those things to happen because marijuana got
It will destroy children and the economy and businesses, and the entire island of Guam will just tip over. So in my mind, that might be one of Lieven's first defense is just, wow, you're putting a whole lot of value on the possible detriments on marijuana that we've never seen here before, and I don't know that any other place, any other jurisdiction where they've legalized marijuana, if that has happened. There's some interesting anecdotal stuff that's out there, but I don't know. So as I say, it has become a kind of an interesting conversation for me to have because I try to look at it in a couple of different ways, and among them is the intent of the bill, which was to create some kind of new industry, some kind of new economy. You know, I think people are changing around here. There used to be the idea that if you were going to go into some kind of business, it was going to be hard, and it was going to require significant investments, and it was going to require the business degrees and all of that stuff. And then I start talking with people who don't have any money between them. They don't have a whole lot by way of business education. They just got an idea, and then before you know it, there's a pop-up. And then before you know it, there's a little driving around canteen, right? Pretty soon, before you know it, there's a girl that's selling hot dogs over by the post office and exploiting the fact that people might get hungry in the middle of the day. And I saw her. It's Mark Cruz's niece. I saw her recently, and I said, I come by here the other day, and you were gone. It was like 11:45, 12 o'clock, and I was hoping to get a hot dog and a chili dog from you. And she says, yeah, sometimes I sell out. What? Yeah, I run out. I've made all the money I need to make today. I'm finished. I'm going home, and I'm going to do my studies or just do whatever it is that I want to do. I thought, wow, it's kind of interesting, the way she looked at it. And, she got her system down so that she can be able to punch through all of this stuff. I just think that it opens up an opportunity for a certain kind of democratization of business here, and maybe that's why there's been so much resistance to it. Maybe it's the people that are sitting in these old brick and mortar buildings, offices, going, wait a second, I don't want to have to compete with any more of these pop-up teenagers that are out there. But maybe that's the way it's going to work. So that's my thing. It doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to smoke any more or less than I ever did in my lifetime before. But I just think that there are some interesting opportunities that could be coming out. Waiting for the zombie apocalypse warning now that we've legalized it. There's already zombies in this town. We already got them. There's the zombie apocalypse is an army of homeless people that you see them walking this circuit in town. Sometimes it'll take them from Magana, because I think that's where everybody sleeps, right? Magana, and then they'll go down to Tamuning, and there's people sleeping there too. Yeah. And they'll do their panhandling out there, get a couple of bucks, and then start making their way back to the cocina, the kitchen in Agana. And that, I tell you what, that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. You want to talk about the Dawn of the Dead? You just get these people walking around. They got bags, and they don't seem to be in any kind of hurry. Just kind of ambling from one place to the next. It's already there. It's already there. Maybe we've got something going on here with this industry. Maybe it's something that we might be able to hire them and say, all right, let's grow something here. Let's grow an industry where we can get some of these people with apparently no other kind of marketable skills and give them something that they can bend their back to and make a couple of bucks and maybe go find someplace reasonable to live. Have you ever heard of anybody coming stoned and beating on his family? No, he comes home and says, honey, what you got in the stove? I'm starving.
Yeah, you know, 5 drunk guys will start a fight. 5 stoned guys will start a band.
Every time I open Facebook.
Every time.
Every day. It's always right there. I don't know. I try not to romanticize this too much because I know it irks to pieces the people that are still on the opposite side. Come on. Go, Cedric. Go, Cedric. If that's you, go hire him a lawyer. 888-825-5888-TALK. No, the question that I'm trying to ask this morning, and it's another one, is will there be, I know the answer to this already, I'm just going to ask it for the sake of being rhetorical. Will there be a blossoming industry for people to help people grows it? What is abundantly clear right now is there is no mechanism available to you or I to legally sell marijuana. I cannot do it. I could grow this stuff, 6 plants, and I'm put a sign up outside my house so that the policeman knows that there's 6 plants, and he should come in and count them and make sure that I'm within the letter of the law at all times. Yeah, that's not going to happen. But the questions that I have, 2 of them, is number 1, where to get seeds. I think a lot of people are asking that question. There was the, I don't have it up on, I don't have a link on it now, but I did before. A link on a place that was, there it is, 5 brilliant ways surefire ways to increase the potency of the marijuana that you're growing. And you might be thinking, well, it all depends on the strain, right? Well, and to a degree, that's true. There are certain strains that are going to be like way more powerful than others. But there are things that you can do as a grower to increase the potency of your weeds. And some of it might be, you know, increase the amount of CO2 that you have in there and make sure that you've got UV lights going. They say it's almost like grape plants. You want to distress them a little bit.
Evidently, you've been studying up on this, Rick Gibson.
I was studying. Then the other one is grow it with other plants, like companion plants that will help put more nitrogen back into the soil or whatever it is that you're growing it in. Some that'll keep the bugs away, so you've got a natural pesticide or natural resistance built up, and some that will actually, you know, help boost the THC content. So there's all this interesting. So I'm just kind of curious as to, you know, who's going to be the guy? And there's an opportunity here for the guys or the girls to go and buy these plug-and-play systems.
Yes, and they do have them.
I know they have them.
And you can ship those over. It's not illegal.
It's not illegal to do that.
You can tell them, I'm growing tomatoes.
Yeah, and I'm sure UV light, they like UV lights as well. So it just seems, see, you're looking for an opportunity, and people, even if they're just growing it for themselves, I mean, they're not talking about becoming a farm or dispensary or anything like that. I just want to be able to grow my own primo weed. So what do I need to do that? What tools do I need? Give me a list of things, and I'll get it over at Home Depot, or better yet, you put it together. You know, there was a guy I used to know, smart fella, and he made a little bit of a killing after a storm. And you're going to go, well, how did he make a little bit of a killing after a storm? He got a really, really good price on these 1 kilowatt inverters, 1,000 watts. And the way it would work would be it would combine the inverter with a decent-sized regular car battery, right, running 12 volts, and the charger. So you plug the charger into the wall, or you could do it with solar too if you wanted to, but you found a way to plug this thing in and get some electricity. So it was always charged. It was always charging, and you plug the charger into the battery, or you plug the battery into the charger. I'm sorry, and the battery would stay charged. It'd always be getting a trickle from somewhere, and then you'd connect the battery up to this kilowatt inverter. So when the power goes out, the inverter is still able to get 12 volts off the battery and use that to run fans. At the time, we didn't have them, but you can imagine, you got a full-size car battery that's feeding an inverter that would eventually feed a charger for your cell phones, your computers, your laptops, your iPads, things like that. And he must have sold a bunch of these systems, the priciest of the part being the inverter. But like I said, he got a pretty good rate on it and sold a bunch of these to a bunch of people. And that became their own emergency store of electricity. And if your power's only going to be out for a couple hours, but you'd like a fan going or something like that, 1,000-watt inverter would keep you going for a while. I took that very same inverter and was able to keep all of the stuff in the refrigerator good for the amount of time that it took to be able to get electricity back on at the house. And this is right after Pong Sang War, Chatan or something like that. But I was able to plug it in. I was also able to plug it into the washing machine. I was also able to plug in a fan. And when all of the chore stuff was done, plug in the television set and the video machine so we could watch TV. And that was a pretty interesting post-apocalyptic time. Speaking of apocalypse, hey, Carl, how you doing?
Hey, good morning, Ray.
And so the point I'm making on that little reminiscing story about the charger and the inverter and all of the other stuff is guys, there are going to be ways for you to eke out an existence in almost a new kind of green economy. So just look out for it and don't be surprised when it bites you in the butt, or don't be surprised when somebody else comes up with it.
Yeah, you were talking about, the homeless zombie apocalypse, and that kind of sparked some thoughts.
You did?
With me. Oh, yeah.
Well, then you must see it as well.
Well, yes, and I think the problem for many people is not so much that there aren't enough jobs. That's part of the problem. But for most of the people, not all of them, of course, that's not the issue. And I think that's illustrated by a story. There was someone that called into a talk show. I don't even remember which one it was, but it was some time ago. This guy worked for a company, and this company took some they saw this homeless guy, and, the owner offered him a job. He said, come and work for us. We'll help you get on your feet. Mm-hmm. So this guy worked for one day, and he disappeared. And later on, they ran into this homeless guy and asked him, what happened? We had given you a job. And he said, it's too much work. I can make more money panhandling and by, the welfare system.
Yep.
So there's just we've got a growing dependency class that really doesn't care about that,
The Japanese refer to them, Carl, as comfortably poor.
Yeah, exactly. And I grew up, dirt poor on Guam. My family moved from shack to shack. I mean, I'm talking outhouses. My family had no car until I was 18 years old. So I'm very familiar with poverty. I mean, if you could see some of the shacks we lived in, it was really bad. But my dad, who was an alcoholic and dirt poor, always taught me, certain things. Always say thank you, always say please, always say excuse me. He taught me these common courtesies, and he pushed me during summer to get off my behind, my rear, and go out and find some work. He often found me work, chopping weeds, mowing. So despite the fact we were dirt poor, my dad was an alcoholic. We came home drunk 365 nights a year. He had that work ethic, and he tried to put that into me as much as possible, and I think it worked fairly well. And we're just not seeing that. We're seeing a breakdown of the family because of the welfare state. It's ruined initiative for many people. They have no desire to get ahead. So it's.
I don't know. How do we define ahead? I did not come from a distressed background like that. You know, my mom was single for a long time, in between husbands, but and I don't ever want to suggest that I was you know, ever really uncomfortable. But you know, I don't know that we came from you know, wealth beyond riches beyond any other dreams of wealth. You know, I've worked all of my adult life. I mean, this July, June, July is coming up on my 40th anniversary of being in radio, and I've never been without a job. And even before I was in radio, I always tried to take advantage of opportunities to go work, you know, kind of anywhere part-time. But my goal, my rule has always been more. I mean, and it's not greed. It's just I want more. I want more for me. I want more for my family. I want more leisure time. I want more hobbies that I can do that will occupy my leisure time. I never want to be sitting in front of a guy over at you know, in a bar or a restaurant and wondering if I've got enough money in my wallet to be able to cover dinner for me and somebody else, right? So I mean, I've always worked towards that, and there has always been a pretty good idea of what more looked and felt like for me. And I just get this feeling like there's a generation of people that go, I got a truck, I got a cell phone, I got a vape. And that's it. I'm good. I don't need anything else.
Yeah.
And you know what? You do. There's more. There's more than just the mall and your cell phone and your vape.
Well, something happens, you know, when you fall into this welfare state. You know, it doesn't ruin everyone, of course, but a lot of people, it just destroys their initiative. And I think that's illustrated by what happened to Black Americans in American history. Over 70% of Black Americans were in two-parent families from the 20s until the 60s, when President Johnson started his Great Society, you know, the war on poverty thing. And from there, you can pretty much look at the statistics and see the escalation of single-parent families to this date, where it's now over 70% of Black American families are single-parent families, and the crime rate just started exploding in the 60s. You didn't see that until the welfare state was initiated, and people started falling into this trap.
Yeah, it's almost. Hey, listen, I've heard that statistic many times before. It's almost a cliche about what happens when, you know, we've let the government take care of everything, and where there might have been issues with single mothers out there struggling to feed their families. Now it's almost become the social experiment to completely remove a male influence from the households and to reward the continuous breeding of children, so that you could get more money.
Yeah, it's been disastrous.
And I don't think that's, and you know what, I don't want to, it seems to me that that's no longer, you know, a function of minorities. I think that's something that's spreading around to just about everywhere, and that's, you know, I don't know what it's going to be like for those people when the bright flash comes and the planes stop flying and the ships stop coming. You know, how will they be able to forage for themselves? They've got no marketable skills, and nobody taught them how to do things like fishing and farming.
Yeah, and I wasn't specifically picking on, you know, Black American families.
No, I know. I just want to illustrate the fact that it is no longer just a struggle for individual minorities. It's now something that we're seeing everywhere, and unfortunately, we're seeing a whole lot of it here. You and I are not too far away from the same age. I don't ever remember anybody on food stamps or assistance till after the 70s, when everybody caught wind of there were all these food stamps that you could get, and it was only supposed to be for a temporary time, and then all of a sudden, boom, everybody's on it, and that was the new currency of the island, seemingly.
Yeah, and you throw drugs into the mix, you know, including the harder drugs, but now we're going to, you know, see the growth of marijuana, and I'm one of those people that is glad that the debate happened locally and the decision happened locally. I'm not thrilled with the outcome, and I'm not thrilled with the prioritization. I think it should have been put further down the road. We've got much bigger fish to fry, and putting the marijuana into this mix, of all the social problems we have, you know, people talk about, well, you know, you're trying to scare people by saying it's a gateway drug. Well, it's not a gateway drug for everyone. I know of one person in particular. He's worked over 10 years. He's had a successful business, and he tokes once in a while. He does it on the side to relax. The problem is when you have people who toke socially and they toke around people who are into harder drugs and say, hey, you want some of this crack? Then it becomes a gateway drug. Not the drug itself, but the people you hang around with start introducing you to the harder drugs. So in that way, for some people, it does act as a gateway drug because
there's anything can be a gateway to anything. I mean, when I was 13, 14 years old, I started smoking cigarettes, and then they said, "Oh, you're smoking? Maybe you should try this marijuana." And I remember trying marijuana, and I remember not being very, very impressed with it. In fact, not being able to control it to the point where I don't think I should smoke that. It's not for me. It's not for everybody. And I never went anywhere beyond that.
Well, see, even with cigarettes, what is the initial thing that starts?
It was the peer pressure, for heaven's sakes. I don't think there's just because you smoke, going, oh my God, this is great. I need to try heroin next. I need to try crystal methamphetamine next. I think with a lot of people, it just might be it's exactly that. You're having a good time with somebody, and another one, somebody will come over and says, dude, you should try this. And then that's where the trouble starts. But it's the peer pressure of wanting to appear cool before this guy, as opposed to having the brains to say, no, it's okay. I've seen what meth can do. I'd rather not. Get that crap away from me.
Yeah, and there are a lot of people that can handle the marijuana. They don't let it get out of hand.
Yeah, so let's not penalize them because of the ones that can't.
Yeah, well, that's my concern is we're throwing the pot issue into the growing social problems we have now. And I don't think the mix is going to be good. But, I'm glad that the discussion is happening locally and the debate. And I just wish it could have been pushed back further and done over a longer period of time and more extensively, more education. It had the feeling to me of being a little bit rushed. But that's my perception.
Analysis by paralysis by analysis, and at some point somebody's got to push a button that says go, and then we'll deal with the issues as they arrive. We're not completely without the capability of sorting our way through some of these problems. Look, marijuana, the personal consumption of marijuana up to an ounce has been legal for a long time, and my guess is that there was a lot of marijuana smoking over the weekend. Are you familiar with anybody that died as a result of that? Were there any big riots over the weekend? I'll bet you at the Valley of Delati festival that they had over the weekend, I guarantee there was something else smoking besides the meat. I guarantee there was other smoking going on besides what was happening at the barbecues.
Yeah, and I do totally agree with Bob Klitsky's take that it should have been taken off of what is it, the classification that it's in, so it can be studied. I'm trying to think of the name of the particular classification the government puts it under, but it should have been taken off of Schedule 1.
But they've done studies. They've got studies going back to the Nixon era. They got studies that go back to the 30s and the 40s. It's not as though the marijuana just all of a sudden showed up somewhere. People knew about what marijuana, what the benefits were, what the drawbacks were, and that kind of thing. And they've known it for a long time.
Yeah, well, I do think that we need to use it for whatever medicinal purposes studies show are, that it would help. And I am for reform of the criminal justice system and how they treat nonviolent marijuana users. And
so there, I mean, you're building your own argument if for marijuana. If you realize that there are people that are part of the criminal justice system for non-criminal acts like possession and smoking of marijuana. So what you're basically saying is there's nothing wrong with it. Why did we incarcerate them?
Yeah, I may have.
And you're making my argument for me here.
Yeah, my cousin decades ago was caught selling pot, and he got thrown into the local prison, and he was molested several times. He was beaten up. So I think that was wrong. He was nonviolent. He wasn't hurting anyone. He was selling weed and toking, and I personally don't think that deserves to be for someone to be put in with.
Yeah, now I smoke weed. Now I can get raped in prison. Great, wonderful. This is what I wanted for my life. Hey, dude, I got to break away. I got not headlines to take care of, but stuff. But we'll talk again.
Hey, thanks a lot, Ray. Thanks for giving me a few moments. I appreciate it.
It's okay. It's all right. You always have interesting things to say. 9:34 in the morning. That's iConnect time. Swing by the nearest iConnect. Learn everything that you need to know about how you're going to telecommunicate in 2019. Still 3 more quarters to go. Do you have a nice phone? Do you have a good internet plan? They can hook you up with some at iConnect.
Hey, are you ready to afford the good life? For example, cooking in a gourmet kitchen that is as amazing as your skills. Or how about paying off tuition? Or maybe expanding your home to make room for your parents. Live beyond your dreams, within your means, with a low-rate home equity line of credit from First Hawaiian Bank. To learn more or to apply, visit any branch or FHB.com. First Hawaiian Bank. It all starts with yes. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Experience the Take Care difference. Take Care members can count on accessing a high-quality, credentialed network of on-island providers, including the convenient one-stop FHP Health Center and Urgent Care, access to an extensive off-island network of providers, and the island's largest offering of free fitness classes and health education programs. You can count on Take Care to deliver comprehensive, accredited insurance coverage and quality health care when and where you need it. Take Care. Our island, your health plan. Learn more at takecareasia.com.
Shrimp and guacamole for Lent at Subway. The all-new shrimp and guacamole combines generous portions of whole shrimp and a spread of guacamole served on freshly baked bread, paired with vegetables cut fresh daily in restaurants and sauces that are sure to excite your taste buds. Hurry in, it's only available for a limited time. Other fresh Lenten flavors include the classic tuna or the mouth-watering greatness of our seafood sensation. Don't forget the Veggie Max, a delicious and tasty vegetarian patty. Visit any of our convenient locations today. At Subway, you make it what you want.
Gibson Show. Hi, Ray Gibson here, and looking over some of the comments on the Facebook Live here. On it's you know, sometimes the topics go by so fast in the morning, and unless I can get to the Facebook Live comments almost right away, they might not be as meaningful to the current batch of listeners, because you know, flips over from time to time. That it might have been had I gotten to it in real time. Ken, Leon Guerrero writes, essentials. I was talking about, you know, the things that we need in order to produce high-quality THC, dripping with resin buds. I don't know if it'll get you there, but absolute basics and essentials. According to his friend in California, dirt. Okay, I got some of that. Sunshine, which costs nothing. Rainwater, no chlorine, also zero. A reusable ceramic pot, no chemicals in that, which you can get for like $7.79.
Okay, on Guam, we're not allowed to grow outdoors, so count out sunshine and also count out rain unless you got a catchment system. You got to pay for both of those.
Right. And that might only get you the basics.
Yeah.
That might give you a little plant that will grow.
You know, if you do it right, man, you can make one plant really nice. I mean, they said mature. They didn't say it couldn't be 12 feet tall.
Right. And so that's the point that I want to get to is if I'm going to do time, trouble, and expense of all of this, I want to be able to turn out a primo crop.
Have you seen a 12-foot tall pot plant? I have. My cousins, they used to throw their seeds out into the. They lived on a ranch.
They throw their seeds out in the dirt.
Throw their seeds, really, in a mound of dirt, and they were, man, I have never, like trees.
I don't know. John Anthony B. Munya, please repost the reply or how I could get it from which one, John? Which particular topic? It might have been a topic that John wanted me to bring up in the last hour. If I think I'm talking about the right guy, that was asking a question about just how much trouble am I going to get into and stuff like that. Yeah, had to do with. John, you might want to repost your question. I want to make sure I get it right. How much trouble that you can get into and the difference between what may happen to you if you work in the private sector and your boss catches you smoking marijuana versus what will happen to you in the public sector if your boss catches you smoking marijuana. First of all, if you're in the private sector, if you're working for me, chances are this is at-will employment. I don't generally have a whole lot of actual agreements, and the rule is don't be stupid, and I'll keep letting you come to work, and I'll keep paying you, and that's generally appropriate. You know, I'm not asking you to bend over backwards or stay extra hours or work for anything for free. I've never asked you to do that.
No, your only instructions to me before I got hired was, look, I don't care what you do on your off time, just don't come to work high.
Yeah.
Or drunk.
Or anything like that. And I think that is a reasonable request to make of somebody. And even if Mike did come to work drunk or high, drunk, I'd probably be able to catch that. High, I don't know. He'd probably be a little bit more talkative, you know, based on certain experiences that I've had, but maybe a little bit more talkative if he had come to work high. He'd be drinking a whole heck of a lot more water, and he'd probably be having potato chips just strewn around the studio in there where I can't see it.
Yeah.
So there's that. But, you know, what's the worst thing that can happen if Mike comes to work stoned? He's not climbing a tower. He's not driving a company vehicle. And the worst thing that would happen would be, Mike, you're stoned, go home. And then,
I ain't high, I'll tell you that, man.
And then he's out for a bunch of hours. Who does that hurt, him or me? Right? Public sector, they've come out with an executive order almost immediately, which basically says all of the rules that we had in place before, they're still there. So don't come to work high, don't come to work stoned. And there probably should have also been, and Lou's a mom, so I'm surprised she didn't put that in here. And there should also have been the don't check me, right? And don't you dare check me, because you'll lose. You're going to go down, right? There needs to be something like that. So one of the concerns somebody had asked me about you know, certain other private sector deals, asking, you know, what can you do? And, you know, we've got certain employees. There are certain employees that I have working for me, and they like to argue with the teacher. They like to argue about the rules. And I said, well, the first time they come in high, fire one of them, and there won't be that problem anymore, right? Do you have an existing a drug-free workplace policy? Yes, you do. Yes. And when somebody comes in and checks you on your workplace policy, fire them.
Yeah.
And nobody else will ever check you again.
And for those that want to continue smoking but are afraid that they'll lose their job if they do, well, find another job.
Right. So John Anthony says, GovGuam employees and private employees, if the rule was in place last week, then it's in place now. If there was no rule in place last week, and you'd be surprised at how many businesses there are. It's funny, post-methamphetamine and all of that, that do not have a drug-free workplace policy. Go to SHRM, Society for Human Resource Management. They have got a pretty good one right there, practically in the front page of their website, SHRM, and I think it's .org. Take a look at that. It'll require a little bit of modification because one of the things it's specific to alcohol and then, quote, illegal drugs. And what we've done around here is we've made it so it's not necessarily illegal for people under the age of 21. So it is still illegal for people under the age of 21. And take a look at it and say alcohol and marijuana and other illegal drugs. We don't want you coming to work high. We don't want you coming to work stoned. And we don't care whether you got into that stage via legal or illegal means. We have a policy that prohibits it to prevent complaints from our customers, to prevent complaints from your coworkers, and to make sure that you don't do something stupid that could actually get you killed in an industrial work site.
Yeah, quite frankly, you know, for me, my rule always was if I'm working for someone else, I don't go to work stoned or anything else. I mean, it just, you know, if I'm working for myself, I can do whatever the heck I want. But if I'm working for someone else, no.
And John wants to know who's going to benefit from this law. 21-year-olds that are unemployed. You know, people don't need to drink all the time. They don't need to smoke marijuana all the time. They don't need to take aspirins all the time. They don't have to have crystal methamphetamine all the time. So it is possible to be completely functional and productive member of society while still smoking marijuana. And if you step out of line with it, there are going to be consequences, as there should be for any kind of abuse of a drug. Some people say, well, you know, how do you want to define abuse? The way it was always defined for me, not in legal terms, but this is, you know, working with supervisors, working with employers over the years. I always looked at drug and alcohol abuse is when it begins to negatively affect your family and when it begins to negatively affect your ability on the workplace. Then that's abuse. You have abused the drug. You have abused the alcohol. So you might be one of those guys Got no problem. Get home 5 o'clock at night, shut the door, light up a doobie, and be high all night. But absolutely cracker box fresh in the morning, right? Have you abused the drug? Did it hurt your work? Is it hurt your family? Right? If your family says you shouldn't smoke in the house because we got kids, right? Well, that's there's something that you're going to have to get through, and it would be abusive if you were taking the drugs. And the same as alcohol. You get drunk in the house, you might still be able to make it to work at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, no problem. We do it all the time. but when it if in the course of doing that, take a hand to the wife or smack at the kid, that's abuse. That's, in my mind, how it's defined. Paseo Stadium was full of marijuana smell Saturday afternoon and evening. Guys laughed and said, it's legal now. Guess what? It's not legal now. Not in public, certainly not at a government-owned facility, absolutely not with kids around. Come on, people. And I agree with you. You are absolutely right. I don't know who that was, and a responsible adult, a responsible member of the community should have been able to find the source of that noxious aroma and said, knock that off. I got kids here. Knock it off. Take that somewhere else. It's still illegal to do that. And maybe there needs to be signs in public places, like the Paseo area, where they put up signs that are readily ignored that say, alcohol-free zone. Yeah, whatever, amigo. Whatever. Yeah, I'll see that. I'll see that and raise you a six-pack. 9:45 in the morning, 888-825-5888-TALK. And that's the drive-by. You want to know a little bit more about it between, I don't know, Friday, Saturday, and today. I think generally everybody in the news business, PDN and the Daily Post, have talked to Levin Camacho to get his sense of what this new world order means. And a lot of it is, I can only tell you what I can see right now. And right now, the law has the provision that says that you can smoke it and don't have any more than an ounce. Got to answer the question of what happens if you do have more than an ounce.
Yeah. I'll put our lawyer against his lawyer any day of the week.
Tell it to the AG, as they say. 9:46. There were a bunch of other items on the table of contents. I don't know if I got a chance to riff on too many of the others. April, STD Awareness Month, and in order to stress the fact that it is STD Awareness Month, the people over at the Department of Public Health and Social Services came out and said, we've got young people between the ages of 15 to 24, and between the ages of 15 to 24 is where we see the spike in all kinds of fun STDs like chlamydia, or maybe they were fun to get, chlamydia, gonorrhea, and syphilis. And the crazy thing is you got to get these things treated, because syphilis is one of those things that makes stuff fall off your body.
It'll it'll drive you crazy.
Oh, there's that too.
Yeah.
So it might be one of those things. I mean, find out about yourself. Talk to your partner or partners. And what was the old line back in the 70s? If you sleep with that guy, you're sleeping with all of him and all of his previous partners. You remember that? You try to do the calculus on that, yeah. So check the 1,100 cases of chlamydia in 2017 alone, and the punchline on this: all STDs can be prevented and treated, and most can be cured. So what they're saying is there's some that you're going to walk around with for the rest of your life. You know, herpes is the gift that keeps on giving, isn't it? I know people, that's the only reason why they grow a beard, so you can't see their little herpes sores, right? You know, if you're going to laugh at me, just leave the microphone open so everybody knows that it's not just dead air. What? I was also very serious.
Yeah, I know. That's what made it funny.
No, about something else. I was serious about something else. Remember I was telling you about my friend with their little growing marijuana? She's just a little seedling. Just a little nothing, a little tiny marijuana there.
Yeah.
And she's growing it, and I'm going, wow, that's so cute. You know, little kids like stuffed animals. Little kids like stuff, right? Could we make some of those things?
What?
I'm just, sell it to the tourists. Guam, that was one of the ideas. You remember when we started talking about this marijuana thing?
Right.
You thought it was just for us. You thought they were going to put this whole industry just together for us. No. This is supposed to be super attractive to the tourists as well.
Oh, I see. So make marijuana centered type of.
I think the word I'm looking for in Japanese is kawaii, right? Which means cute.
Okay.
And it's this whole revolution thing that they've got in Japan. Everybody's trying to be kawaii with and everything has got to meet this certain kind of cute aesthetic. And there it seems to me going to be a way for us to create some kind of I don't know, Guam Marijuana Island mascot. Have we got that yet? Is there anybody working on such a thing? And people are going to say, no, we might want to avoid that. Why? If it's something that we could have people make?
What would we make it into? I mean, what would be the base form? Like a laddie stone? Like, Lonnie the laddie?
Well, I put it upside down, right? So you get the marijuana leaf, the tall marijuana leaves are the legs, then you've got the other ones that can be the arms, and then the stem for the head.
Oh.
Like a I Am Groot, except a marijuana I Am Groot.
What would we name it?
Groot sounds pretty good to me. 9:50 in the morning. What's that say? If Gov Lou was smart... Oh, and then the thing that went away. I'll have to look that up in a second. If Gov Lou was smart, she would dispatch Janella to do a campaign to educate the do's and don'ts to where and when to smoke pot. You know what? Lou is smart. Now's not the time, Sharky. Now is we got to let the Cannabis Control Board. We're going to need to find a friendlier name from that. As I say, it is kind of pretentious.
Yeah.
Who you with? I'm with the Cannabis Control Board. I'm from the High Command. And I'm coming into your house.
Weed watchers.
To count. That was a good idea. 10 away from the top of the hour, 888-8255. All right, other items of the table of contents that I haven't really gotten into. Already referred to Said Free as kind of kooky on his lawsuit. All right, we got... Oh, this is going to be fun. This will be rich to watch. I think we've got until Wednesday to see what the lady over at District Court is going to be doing. We are that close, Migo, that close, skosh, from resolving all of the issues with solid waste on Guam and being able to see a happy transition between GBB, Gershman, Brickner, and Bratton, and the Guam Solid Waste Authority. They have turned in, apparently, their plan to fund the construction of the new cells, between $25 and $30 million for new cellage over at the Luzon landfill. They were originally looking maybe at some grant ideas, but as it turns out, there probably aren't a whole lot of places, even in the big, vast federal government of the United States of America, that cares enough to give us $25 million so we can take care of our trash. And I think they'd look at it and say, you ought to be able to do that yourselves under your own power. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to either go and get a regular, plain old vanilla bank loan, or we're going to go out and hit the bond market and see if we might be able to find some private investors out there that could want to be able to help us with this cell.
Yeah, applying for the grant, the government would just tell us to throw it into our volcano because they have no idea really where
we could do
are.
that. There's a volcano in Pagat.
I know
on the island. There should be a way
that much.
Just put it on a barge, take it up there, and scoop it into the thing.
Maybe we can make it like a fun game and put a big slingshot on the barge, and you can just put bags of it. And
yep. Got to send somebody up there to fix it when it's done.
You got to knock it in.
So I don't know. The lady over at the court's going to evaluate the ideas. I'm a little bit saddened that we're going to be going off in that direction, because when you borrow, and this, and it's a whole credit thing, it's not like the bank's going to give you the money for free. And so for $30 million, it's going to cost us $11 million in interest to be able to do that. So now we're talking about the... Wow, closing costs, fees, etc. So we're going to go from I need $30 million to, okay, now it's $42 million all in, and then you've got the fees and the expenses that go in after that. And pretty soon, this is going to start looking like a lot of extra money, and I don't know that they have identified the source to repay either the bondholders or the people that loan us that money. Even if we can get it around 4.5%. So I don't know.
We are the source,
I think, and that's the disappointing thing, because if it's something that's going to require additional funds that aren't going to otherwise be offset by being out from under the GBB, then that means that the money is going to be coming out of our pocket. And it's between that and the rate increases that are going to be coming in power and the rate increases that we know are going to be happening in water, it's getting kind of tricky, getting kind of pricey to live here. I put some gasoline in the car over the weekend. I was on E. I was on Ever Ready. I was in the, and the neat thing about a Honda Ridgeline is it'll tell you what kind of range you got. And this one said apparently you get down to a certain number of miles that you've got left. It says pull over, sucker. And so I got the pull over sucker thing and found my way to a gas station. $75 and something cents to fill it up. $75. And I know what you're saying. Well, you didn't need to fill it up. You know, I know what my time is worth, and I don't need to go zipping back and forth to the gas station just because I'm near E. So I figured I'd go ahead and top the guy off.
Plus, the way the things are going, by the time you went back, it'll be $4.50.
Yeah, it'll be $4.50 a gallon, right? Hey, 9:55. We'll be right back.
At Guam Regional Medical City, it is our mission to become the island's premier choice for specialty care, like cardiology, pulmonology, neurosciences, orthopedics, oncology services, and more. We aim to protect our island from heart attacks, strokes, cancer, and diabetic complications. But should you suffer from such diseases, we're ready with world-class options, both inpatient and outpatient. For more information, visit us at grmc.gu.
Attention homeowners, MRE solar energy systems now come with battery storage for zero money down. This means that your home will have power even when the island power isn't available, like during power outages or during and after storms. The inconvenience of not having power for your home is a thing of the past. It's solar with battery storage exclusively by Micronesia Renewable Energy. Don't be left in the dark. Call 632-2613 for a free consultation. MRE, the smarter choice.
Join us Saturday, April 13th for the 5th annual Chucky Run and Fun 2K, 5K, and Flyaway giveaway. Showtime at 5:30 and go time at 6 a.m. T-shirts, medals, and other cool prizes, including the grand prize trip for two to Manila. Register at Hornet Sporting Goods or Chuck E. Cheese's Guam. $8 for students, $12 for adults, and Group of 4 Super Saver for just $40. The 5th annual Chucky Run and Fun 2K, 5K, and Flyaway giveaway. We'll see you there.
6 and change. It is the Ray Gibson Show. Tomorrow around this time, should have my friend Vanessa in the studio to talk to me about the High Tide Professional Women in Guam venture that they've got coming up. It is a day long worth of fun and excitement and a great panel that you're going to have in front of you. What is the day on this? April the 12th, Dusitani, Guam, 8:30 until 6:30. So this one might actually have a cool wine bar happy hour at the end of it. Jen Belock from Knock Knock, Freya Estreller from who is the co-founder of Cool House, Paco De Leon, founder of the Hell Yeah Group, and Megan Villa, co-founder of the SVN Space, a platform that focuses on harnessing hemp in products and for wellness. So you'll see what these lady entrepreneurs have got to say about the world. And Dave Lotz has got another book out. Dave's been hiking Guam and making trails since anybody can remember, and he has got a new. It's either a new book or a new version of the old book, kind of an updated version of another one of these hiking things that he put out years ago. And so we'll have him in the studio in just a little bit talking about that book, where you might be able to find it, and what some of the changes are. You know, what some of the cool places to go out. You would be amazed at some of the things that I have seen. I've recently taken up kind of a form of hiking. I refer to it as fast hiking, and it is amazing in the same degree that it is crazy fun. And I'll be out there on trail and all of a sudden see something that I've never ever seen before, a cave or the mouth of a river or something that is so beautiful it takes your breath away. And there must be a zillion places like that on Guam. And despite the fact that I'm born and raised here, I didn't know it existed until I stumble on it. And it's nice to know that somebody is out there looking at trails, looking at opportunities to go and do some fast hiking or slow hiking, one way or the other. So it'll be a delight to spend some time talking with him. There are a bunch of other items in the table of contents, and they're all. I'd tell you what they are, but if I told you what they are. I don't know, somebody will steal the idea and it'll be stale by the time I get to it tomorrow. So I'll just hold my ideas, my thoughts in my head until tomorrow, and we'll line up on some of these topics and talk to some of the big names that are associated with them when the show starts tomorrow. What are we doing? At 6 in the morning, right? Every morning? Weekdays?
Well, that's what you said.
Yeah, I got to talk to the managing partner about that. Look, it's 10 o'clock or really close to it. This is KUSG. I got you for Michael Knight, Kevin Kerrigan, and Blake Watson, say the other stars of the program, and everybody that's been hanging out on Facebook Live. Thanks so much for spending some time with me to try to be as interesting and fun tomorrow as we were today. Stand by now for Fox News Live.
Another shakeup in the Trump administration. I'm Steve Rappaport, Fox News. Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen has resigned. President Trump appointing Customs and Border Protection Commissioner Kevin McAlealan as acting DHS Secretary.
While the president did appreciate the job that she had been doing on the border, what he's looking for right now as his top priority is to try to fix the situation on the border, is a real tough cop on the border, and that's the role that Kevin McAlealan fills. Now, as to whether or not McAlealan could go from acting secretary to permanent secretary, that's a question, because I'm told that one of the things that you need the DHS secretary to be able to do is get heavily involved in the politics on Capitol Hill.
Fox Chief White House correspondent John Roberts. The Trump administration clashing with Democrats in a battle over the president's tax returns. Congressman Dan Kildee on ABC's This Week.
The public has a right to know whether the president's interests are impacting the decisions that he makes using the authority that we have granted him by electing him.
The White House digging in.
Democrats are demanding that the IRS turn over the documents, and that is not going to happen, and they know it. This is a political stunt.
Acting Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney on Fox News Sunday. Attorney General William Barr testifies on Capitol Hill this week about the Justice Department's budget, but Democrats are likely to grill him over Special Counsel Mueller's Russia report.
One of the top questions